What's up, Fire Nation? If you're here, it's because you don't play small. Fire Nation is for the ones fueled by passion, driven by growth, and hungry to build real wealth. Not just for yourself, but for your family and future generations. This isn't just a channel. This is a movement. And if you're watching, you're already part of it. I'm Miss BlueFire, always taking you higher. Let's light it up. What's up, Fire Nation? If you don't play small and you're here to build, you're in the right place. I'm Miss BlueFire, always taking you higher. Let's light it up. Hello. Same flame, early class today. Let me big up everybody. Big up TG Media, Philip, my brother in our real life. Big up Time Come. Good to see you. Good to see you again, Time Come. Lion King, so big up yourself and thanks for sharing. Prefect Lion King, so big up yourself. Big up yourself, Same Flame Entertainment. He say, I am early for class today. I'm going to buy lotto. Blessing, Same Flame. Glad to have you here. Thank you so much for sharing that, Lion King. So you actually supposed to be a moderator. I'm going to fix that. I haven't been in that thing for so long, but I'm going to fix that. All right, good. So today we have some. Listen, I want me to treat to that. Everybody, as you come in, like and subscribe, as the gentleman tell you. I want us to treat today like a brainstorming session, right? That's the type of attention that dancehall needs. So we're going to have some people coming in, well, at least some of the gentlemen, so that they're going to come in because they want to give their couldn't late today at all, yeah, because they want to give their take, right? And because you see, I don't want it to be us against them type. It's not that. I want us to actually flesh out this thing, because this is what dancehall needs. It actually needs good thinking people, well thinking people, to actually sit down and work out certain things, right? That's what it needs, right? So today we have a lot to cover, right? It's going to be a very interesting live. Fire Nation, tonight I want to start with one simple question for you. What exactly and what actually makes an artist great? Because I think we have been having this argument all too wrong. Every day in dancehall, someone said, him have more awards, he has more streams, him have more international hits, him have bigger catalog, him can sell out a bigger venue, he influenced more artists, he's been doing it for 25 years. And everybody takes one piece of evidence and uses it to declare, see, my artist is bigger. But hold on. Since when did one metric determine greatness? If artist A has more awards and artist B has greater cultural impact, and then artist C has greater international reach, and then artist D sell more records, and then artist E have a stronger catalog, and then artist F influence an entire generation, who is actually the bigger artist? That is the conversation tonight. Because accolades matter, but accolades are not impact. Streams matter, but streams are not influence. Sales matter, but sales are not necessarily cultural dominance. International recognition matters, but being known by more people doesn't automatically mean you change the genre more. And then again, longevity matters. But guess what? Simply being around for 25 years doesn't automatically mean you're dominated for those 25 years. I always tell you, how you spend your time matters. So Tonight, Fire Nation, we are going to do something different. We're going to build, or I'm going to reveal to you what I built, what I call a greatness scorecard. And I want people to tell me why they agree, why they disagree, right? So that we can actually have it not as a debate, but say like a brainstorming, right? That's what we need. We need more well thinking people actually sitting down, coming together, and brainstorming for dancehall, right? So I'm going to reveal to you what I have as my greatness scorecard, and I'm going to tell you my reasoning, and I want you to tell me why yes or why no. And we're going to ask, what are the actual metrics of an artist's greatness? And more importantly, should every metric have the same weight? I say no, absolutely not. Because if someone wins an award, should that count as much as changing the direction of dancehall? No. Mm-mm. No. If someone have 500 million streams, should that automatically outweigh influence of an entire generation of even artists? No. If somebody sells out an arena today, does that outweigh somebody whose music has survived 25 years? Huh. And here's where tonight gets really interesting. These metrics don't exist independently. No. Because guess what? Which is what we're going to go through. A lot of them affect each other. Let me explain what I mean. Right? Impact can create influence. I told you guys that already. I taught you guys that in many other lives before. Reach can increase commercial success. We spoke about that before. That's why you pay for reach. That's why you pay for marketing, to increase your commercial success, potentially. Commercial success can increase touring opportunities. That is just a fact. A powerful catalog can create longevity. It's facts. It's facts. Them still play Bounty Killer and Mr. Vega songs. It's just facts. Guess what? Longevity can deepen your impact. Still factual too. Accolades can also increase visibility. It can also increase your credibility and your reach. But all of those things can actually help your accolade. Accolade is a scoreboard in itself. We're going to go into that. So we aren't ranking 9 separate boxes. Don't think about it that way. We're going to examine the entire ecosystem of it, right? And I have a proposed hierarchy for tonight. And I'm going to go through each one and why. And I want to know why you guys disagree and what you have in instead of what I say or what I put down. Reason being, I'm treating this like a brainstorming session. You might have a better idea than me. Your reasoning might make more sense than mine, so I will abandon mine and take yours. No problem. It make more sense. It make more sense, right? But I want to hear some reasoning tonight. This is the things that dancehall really need. We really need well-thinking people to flesh things out, right? And come to a common solution, right? So my proposed hierarchy is cultural impact, 25%. I give it number one. Like cultural impact is what actually changed because you existed. Cultural impact for me scores the highest, 25%. Now remember, everything is going to add up to 100%, right? Okay, good. Influence, I give that 20%. Number two, right? Who changed because you existed? Like who tried to sound like you? Who tried to, look like you, just like all that stuff? Influence. That's one form of it, right? 20%. Reach, I give 15%. Because A, you can actually pay for it, and B, it basically what it measures is how far did your music and your name travel. Big up, big up, big up Ematep, big up Ematep, big up to the beautiful Mrs. BlueFire, always here to edify and enlighten. Big up yourself, Ematep. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Looking forward to what you have to say too. Right? So, where was I? Yes. How far did your music and name travel? I give that 15%. I'm going to tell you why. Commercial success, I give 15%. Did attention actually convert into a measurable economic demand? Did people actually stream your stuff or buy your stuff? Right? Did the attention actually convert into something? Right? Fan base strength, though, I'm giving 10%. Hold a second. I don't know why the screen stopped sharing. Fan base, I'm giving 10%. Right? Do people merely listen, or are they invested in what it is that you're teaching? Or sorry, that you're singing, right? So fan base, I give 10%. Do people merely listen, or are they invested? Number 6, longevity, I give 5%. Like, can your relevance survive time, changing the generations and changing songs? Some people might grade that higher. We're gonna go into it. Catalog strength, I say 5%. When the hype disappears, how much undeniable music remains as catalog strength. Live drawing power, I give it 3%. Can your name move people from their phones into an actual venue? That is live drawing power. And finally, accolades. I know people can fight me on this one, and I'm ready for it. And I don't mean to fight. I mean, like, give me an argument. Accolades, I gave 2%. And I know somebody is already typed, Miss BlueFire, 2%. Yes. And we're going to talk about it. I'm going to tell you why, my reason, because this is the one I wrestle with. Because I'm not saying awards don't matter. I'm asking whether recognition of greatness should carry more weight than the greatness being recognized itself, especially when we depend on other people's recognition. We're going to go into that. Hold on, that's different. We're going to test the framework against dancehall, right? We're going to test it against all of the greats: Cartel, Beanie, Bounty, Sean Paul, Shaggy, Popcorn, and others, right? And I don't want anybody hiding behind fandom tonight. Okay, bring evidence or tell me, explain why. Just tell us why. Because none of this is written in stone. This is just from my mind and my thinking. Right? And if you're going to tell me, say, my artist is bigger, I want you to tell me where. Bigger impact, influence, reach, commercial success, catalog, fan base, touring, longevity, accolades. Because two things can be true at the same time. One artist, Fire Nation, can be bigger commercially, while another is bigger culturally. One can have greater reach, while another has deeper influence, right? It's just a fact. And one can have more awards, while another leaves a larger footprint. So, hear me, Fire Nation, tonight, we are separating popularity from impact. We are separating recognition from influence. We're separating success from legacy. And by the end of this live, Fire Nation, I want us to be able to make a much stronger argument than my artist has more trophies. I want us to be able to say, show me what changed because your artist existed. Right? Because maybe the biggest artist isn't simply the person with the most awards. Maybe the biggest artist is the person whose absence would create the biggest hole in the history of the genre. Think about it that way. So, Fire Nation, welcome again to the business of dancehall tonight. Tonight we're putting greatness on the scale, right? And we're gonna have fun doing it. So big up on yourself. Let me go back to the chat and see what's going on. Big up Miss Steve. Big up Miss Steve. Good to see you. Blessings and thank you. Good night, Miss Julia and chat. Like up the live. That's right. Everybody like up the live. So when you guys are ready to call in, you can. I don't know why the screen wasn't just sharing a while ago. It just stopped sharing. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this now. Let me see. All right, you guys seeing that now, right? Good. Now, if there's any objections, I want you guys to come and talk. Big up yourself, Clip Cartel. Manager and respect. I haven't seen you in a long while. Blessings. Blessings. Now, guys, even to my reasoning. If there is, even in the chat, you want to disagree, you can disagree in the chat if people don't roll in yet, right? We're not going to wait for people, because guess what? This information is great information for them to consider on the playback, right? So here we go. Now, this is what I have, the metrics of an artist's greatness. How do we actually determine who is bigger? This is the weighted greatness model, according to me, right? 25% cultural impact. What it is one to it. Hold on there. I mess it up. Hold on there. Hold on, my dears. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Stay right there. Let's see something. All right, well, you know what happened? Guess what? I know what the hell I'm talking about. I have to rely on a goddamn slide. I made the goddamn slide. So, listen, 25% is supposed to be cultural impact. If you can see it, right? The reason why I did that, the highest weight, because to me, well, not to me, because it measures the deepest level of greatness for me. Why? What actually changed in the culture because the artist existed? So I give that a 25%, right? Yeah, an artist can win awards, an artist can sell records, artists can generate streams and even tour successfully, right? Without fundamentally changing dancehall. But cultural impact asks whether the artist alter the language, the fashion, the behavior, the sound, right? The business practices, the identity, even the performance style and the performance direction of other artists, right? So to me, the reason why I put it at 25 and make it way more than all the other ones, right, is because it weighs more than every other metric, because it's consequence rather than recognition. Like influence can show you who copied you, right? Reach will show you how far you travel, right? Commercial success will show you how much money you generated, right? But impact itself tells us whether dancehall itself would look different if you did not exist. That's what I mean. So that's why I give it 25%. But I want to hear the rest of you know. If you don't agree, whatever, or tell me, or if you give a different scale, you let me know. 20, I gave influence, right? Because it measures how much an artist. Hold on, let me look for the chat again. I agree to. I was same agree to. All right, cool. All right, let me right. So now with influence now, I gave it 15. 20%, sorry, 20, right? Because it measures how much an artist's creative blueprint reproduces itself through other people, right? That's what it does. You see what I'm saying? Like cultural impact to me is it's not even to me, but what it is it has a broader reach into the public behavior and identity. Influence is more concentrated within, like say, the artists and the industry. Sometimes the people too, actually, right? No, that would be impact, right? But influence get 20% because it allows an artist's presence to continue even when they're no longer dominating the charts. It's just a fact. Way after Elephant Man was dominating the charts, see some guys them, you know, it's still in them style. You can't know say it's an elephant man in them trying to look like. It's just a fact. So reach was 15%. I messed up the slide, sorry. Reach was 15%. The reason why I gave reach 15% is because greatness cannot be discussed seriously without considering how many people and markets and territories the artist actually reach. But I give it 15% because you can actually pay for it. It can be manipulated, right? So reach measures, like say, even international recognition, right? Crossover audience, diaspora penetration, that type of stuff, right? Language barriers that are crossed, right? So basically, how far artists' name and music travel beyond their original core audience. That's reach, right? If people say it's supposed to weigh less, let me know why, or let me know no, right? Because guess what? To me, it also deserves less weight than impact and influence, because being known is not the same thing as being transformative, right? You can pay for reach, and or somebody can just have a worldwide hit. Everybody recognize that hit, right? But it don't actually leave a lasting imprint on the genre itself. It's just a fact, right? But reach deserves equal weight to commercial success. That's what I think, because the ability to carry Jamaican music into new territories, that has tremendous value for both the artist and the genre. That's just a fact, right? Because it expands the marketplace, right? And it exposes dancehall to new audiences. You see what I'm saying? And it can actually create opportunities for other artists that follow. That's what exposure does, right? So reach is significant. Don't think it's not. It's still 15%. It's significant, right? Right? But it cannot be allowed to overpower impact, because exposure tells us, like, how far the music went, but impact, it will tell you what happened when it got there, basically. Let me put it that way. Let me make sure you can still see the graph. Big up yourself, Skyra. Good to see you, Skyra. Skyra, everybody can call up when they're ready, or tell me what to disagree with or what to agree with when it comes on to these metrics, right? I'm giving my reasoning as to why I chose the metrics that I chose, right? And why I weigh them as much. No, your metrics might not be the same exact ones. You might weigh yours different, or maybe this will give people food for thought to actually weigh it out. You see what I'm saying? Blessings, Cara. Thank you for your donation of $10, Cara. I appreciate it, my bro. Right? So that is what I give that. Now, commercial success, I'm giving it 15%. This is commercial success. Oh, that was reach. This is commercial success. 15%, right? Reason being is music is not only culture, it's also business, right? So a serious greatness model, if we're going to have a greatness model, right, we have to recognize whether the artist's attention actually converted into sales, into streams, publishing income, or touring revenue, or a sustained customer, or licensing, or something. It have to convert into something. It don't make no sense to just have attention for attention's sake. It must convert into something, right? Because attention is fickle. Commercial success matters, right? Because it proves that people were willing to consume and purchase or financially support the artist's work. Clearly, right? Good, good. Agreement, good. Now, all right then. So if that's the case, Miss Julia, why didn't you rank it above impact or influence? Why? Because commercial numbers are heavily affected by era, technology, distribution, label backing, market size, and measurement infrastructure. It's just a fact, right? Think about it. A dancehall artist from the 1990s didn't have Spotify, YouTube, or TikTok. So, and Jamaica did not historically capture domestic music consumption at all, right? Not with the same level of standardized data like the larger markets do. And I'm going to keep talking about us not having the same, our own charts. I'm going to keep talking about it because it affects everything. Even the way how we have to weigh certain things like cultural impact is a fact. So therefore, raw numbers can sometimes tell us more about the measurement environment than the artist's true cultural significance, because some things is not recorded. It's just a fact, right? Commercial success deserves a strong 15% because demand matters. But it cannot become the final judge of greatness, because the best-selling artist is not automatically the artist who changed the genre the most. It's just a fact. Now, fan base strength, I give 10%. This was fan base strength. And I'll tell you why. Fan base strength, I think, get 10% because it measures the difference between simply having an audience and having a genuine community of committed supporters. There's a big difference. A community of committed supporters is very, very important to our artists. The camps are very, very important to the artists. It's just a fact, right? A casual listener may stream one hit, yeah, and move on. But a true fan, they will buy the music, attend the shows, stream, follow the artist through the quiet period, share the catalog, defend the artist, right? Introduce new listeners to the artist, right? So that's why this metric here deserves so much weight, right? Because fan loyalty is it directly affects. Listen, like I was saying before, fan loyalty directly affects the artist's longevity, them sales, them visibility, and the cultural memory. It's just a fact, right? But fan loyalty, it sit below reach, and it sit below commercial success for me, right? Because I tell you why, you have to give and take. We have to look at the good and the bad of things. We can't just look at the good, okay? Highly passionate fan communities can sometimes exaggerate an artist's apparent size or success. It's just a fact, right? A small but extremely vocal fan base can dominate online and dominate the online conversions, and them small, right? And then make the artists appear more universally dominant than they really are, right? It's just a fact. But reach tells us how many people actually came through the door, right? Fan base, that actually tell us how much people are staying. It's just a fact, right? Reach is how many people came through the door. Fan base, the people who stayed, basically. Okay, good. Now, what I gave 5% was longevity. This is wrong. Catalog is wrong. I messed up. What I gave 5% was longevity. I remember 5% is longevity. The reason why I gave that longevity is because time is one of the greatest tests of whether an artist's success was temporary or durable. It's just a fact, right? Longevity asks whether the artist remain relevant, respected, listened to, and discussed, or commercially viable across the changing eras. Probably I should even give it more than 5%, to be honest, now that I think about it. Right? Right? Longevity matters because hype can be manufactured. Viral moments then disappear quickly. Right? And even major commercial peaks, that is short-lived most of the time. However, here's my reasoning for only giving it 5%, because of the fact that I was actually debating it with myself. The reason I give it 5%, Fire Nation, is because longevity is partly an outcome of other stronger metrics. Remember I told you that some metrics affect other metrics? Hear me out. A powerful catalog creates longevity because of replay value and it will last long. A loyal fan base creates longevity. Your name will even be calling even after you pass. Impact itself, which is another metric, that creates longevity if you're very impactful. Influence, your influence can keep you relevant to future generations, like with Cartel. So, a lot of things lead to this longevity. It's an outcome of other stronger metrics, if you follow what I'm saying, right? So if we give longevity too much weight, we would basically be rewarding the same achievement twice. You see what I'm saying? Because guess what? Think about it. We already are going to reward a powerful catalog, right? But guess what? A powerful catalog already is going to create longevity. So if we count a powerful catalog, I'd say 3 or 5, right? And then we count longevity, I'd say a 7. We're double counting. Because a lot of these things lead to longevity, if you understand what I'm saying. So we don't want to double count. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of these metrics affect each other and lead to each other. Think about it. Okay, let me say it again. A powerful catalog, we're going to use it as a metric, right? We do. But if you have a powerful catalog, that actually helps to create your longevity. If you have impact, cultural impact, that helps your longevity to sustain. Your influence, right, that keep you relevant through the future generations, the influence of the artist, that actually counts towards your longevity as well. So if we count longevity too high, we're going to be double counting. See what I'm saying? We don't want to do that. We have to be fair, right? So if we give longevity too much weight, we can affect the same achievement twice. And it also prevents us from automatically declaring an older artist greater simply because they've been around longer. Time matters, yes, but surviving for 25 years, Fire Nation, is not the same as dominating for 25 years. I wonder if people understanding what I'm saying. Big up on yourself, big up on yourself, big up, Trooper, big up yourself, Trooper, big up yourself, Miss Jacobs, Queen. Good to see you, good to see you, good to see you. Gentlemen, you can call in when you're ready, right? And we can discuss because I want to treat tonight. I was telling them, Trooper, Scara, Ematep the Owl, and Same Flame. We're gonna treat tonight like a brainstorming session, not a debate, because dancehall deserve some actually. Big up yourself, Era 804. Big up. Dancehall actually deserves some well-thinking people to actually flesh out some things like this. We need to know what we're weighing and why we're weighing it. You understand what I'm saying? Because we can't complain saying, oh, it does not structure, it does not structure, when we actually, the ones who are involved, the ones who talk about it all the time, we know we have good brains. Why don't we sit together and actually try to even flesh out a structure? It will be an informal one, of course, but at least we'll have something start, right? So we can start to make sense of things instead of everybody just chatting and making noise. We have good minds. I hear you guys on the panel all the time. You guys have some really, really great arguments and really good thinking. So we need to think solution-based thinking about these things, right? These are facts, right? Good. So let me continue. So now let me see. Which other one did I not tell you about? Which other one did I not say? Hold on. Oh yeah, catalog strength. Catalog strength, I gave 5%. Why I give 5% to catalog strength? Catalog strength gets 5% because an artist's catalog is the permanent body of evidence left behind when all the hype, the controversy, and the current chart position then disappear. It's just a fact, right? We examine the classics, the hits, replay value, all of that, right? Catalog strength deserves weight, right? Because the music have to survive just the moment. It's just a fact, right? However, it stays at only 5%. Why? Because catalog strength already feeds into several other categories. Same thing I was telling you about. Catalog strength feed into other categories. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Right? Catalog strength, what does that help create? Longevity. We're going to grade that already. Catalog strength, right? It strengthens what? Fan loyalty. That's fan base. Catalog strength, guess what? It generates commercial success. So it feeds into commercial success, which is already a metric, right? Catalog strength also fuels what? What else you get from your catalog strength? Touring, and it can also contribute to cultural impact too. Damn right it does. Excuse my language. Right? Catalog strength, right? So if we give catalog strength too much additional weight, you will create unnecessary double counting. It's just a fact. Because if catalog strength is already going to add to go towards the cultural impact, it's also going to go towards the touring, right? The touring and the commercial success. Clearly the catalog strength affect these things, right? And the longevity, clearly. If you think about it this way and break it apart. Now, live drawing power. This is if you can get people into the arena. That's what I gave here. See, it messed up right there. 3%. Why? I know people can say, why? All right, what is it? Live drawing power clearly is when you can get people to independently move from listening at home to actually spending money, traveling, and physically showing up, right? That, again, I always say that is powerful evidence of demand for you. All right. So, Miss Julia, why only 3%, right? If ticket buyers demonstrate a deeper level of commitment than passive listeners, Miss Julia, right? Why wouldn't live performance absolutely be more than that? 3%? Why? I ask myself the same question. I tell you why. It's also influenced by too many external variables, right? Listen to what I'm saying. Venue size, country, ticket price, promoter strength, supporting acts, festival billing, scarcity, visa restrictions, criminal records, geography, touring infrastructure, all of those things affect an artist's ability to demonstrate their true drawing power. A lot of our artists, we can't know them true drawing power because of all of the problems I just listed. You want me to list them again? I can tell you again, you know. What me to say? Festival billing, that's the one. Novelty, scarcity, visa restrictions, criminal records, geography, touring infrastructure or the lack thereof, the venue sizes, the country, the ticket prices, the strength of the promoter, the festival billing, the supporting acts, all of that affect and to see it affect if we can actually see an artist's true drawing power. Some artists we don't know their true drawing power because you don't have a visa, right? Yes, a sold out show is meaningful, of course it is, but one sold out show does not automatically prove superiority over an artist with a different touring history. It's just a fact, right? Yes, live draw, that is strong evidence of demand. Yes, they want to see you. But it's too context dependent to outweigh cultural impact. It's too dependent on other things like visa, criminal record, all that stuff, right? To outweigh influence. Because we have to keep the level, the board level, right? We do. We can't give it so much weight because we don't know. We can't measure some of our artists drawing power. True drawing power. It's just a fact. No. This is the one where everybody going to where most people this is where I fought myself to. So this is why I know that most people will fight here. I fought myself here to give accolades only 2%. And I'm going to give you the reason why I stuck with it. And I don't mind anybody telling me, no, Miss Julia, I disagree. And why? Right? Big up yourself, Tanisha Smith. Big up yourself. Omar Romance. Big up yourself. Big up yourself from DY. Big up yourself. Active M Don 1. Big up yourself. Here from the War Child. Ray Oxablia. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. Christina. Big up yourself. One Knot. Big up yourself. Official Yards. Up. Up. Dance all war. Up. I'm going up the line. Big up on yourself. Ricardo Powers. Big up on yourself. Big up on yourself, Ricardo Powers. Big up on yourself. Yeah, man. So you guys can actually call in, tell me why or why not, and tell me and give me reasons as to why. Because this is what I'm. Now that you guys are here, I'll tell you again. We're gonna treat this like a brainstorming session, not a debate. I don't have all the answers. I'm at least brave enough to present my case to you and give you my reasoning behind my case. I would like us all to work together to actually think this through. Because a lot of times we're just spinning our wheels on the platforms, right? And not weighing things properly, right? And weighing things just to suit whatever camp. But if we really want to change in dancehall, and we know so we do have the structure, this is how structure begins, by conversation. So we need to give this metrics of an artist's greatness some thought. So I'm going to treat this, as I said again, like a brainstorming session, because dancehall deserves that respect of us actually, using our mind to help it. Good. Accolades now, 2%. Then we say, Miss Julia, why accolades only get 2%? What a wicked, you really is a Satan? No, let me tell you why. All right. Like up the live, everybody. Accolades only get 2% from me because awards are primarily institutional recognition of achievement rather than the achievement itself. And let me tell you this, accolades is its own scoreboard. It's because of all of the other things that was forementioned, right? Why you get certain accolades. But I'm going to give you all the reasons why. I gave it only 2%. I'm going to go down the list when we get there, okay? Now, also, we have to consider the fact that we don't have our own charts. We don't have our own measuring stick. That is why I stuck to it for 2%. Remember, I'm not talking about music on our own, I'm talking about our dance hall, right? Because we don't have our own measurements, we don't have our own measuring stick, we have to depend on other people's charts and other people's things, right? We can't give accolades too much because basically we are measuring how much that artist or that song penetrates somebody else's system. We need our own system. However, there are other reasons. Okay? Now, also, we don't want to be the double counting because a lot of these other metrics lead to you getting the accolade. It's just a fact. That's why there are impact awards, etc., etc. Now, think about it. Grammys, the Mobos, Iwama, all of them absolutely matter. Yes, they do. They add prestige. They add visibility, right? They strengthen an artist's resume, right? And them can expand an artist's reach. But guess what? They cannot manufacture cultural impact. It cannot manufacture influence, cannot manufacture fan loyalty, catalog quality, or longevity. It's just a fact. And another thing again, guess what? Awards, they're affected by eligibility rules. So if you're not eligible to go into award that you could have won, right? They're affected by eligibility rules, sorry. They're affected by eligibility rules, if you're eligible or not. They're affected by submission processes. Guess what else they're affected by? Voting bodies. Institutional tastes, like the Grammys, right? Category definitions. What exactly is dancehall? What exactly is reggae? Geography and historical access. All of those things affect accolades. So that matters enormously in dancehall. Because guess what? Many of the institutions used to validate our Jamaican artists exist outside of Jamaica. Meaning, Fire Nation, the awards sometimes tell us how effectively the artist penetrated a foreign institution rather than how deeply they affected Jamaican culture. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm not saying it's not worth nothing, but I'm just saying you have to measure it with a grain of salt. Pun intended. So yes, accolades definitely deserve inclusion, Fire Nation. I cannot say they don't. Of course, I love awards. I like everybody love them awards, right? Because guess what? Recognition, Fire Nation is meaningful, right? But they belong at the bottom because an award, even though an award can confirm your greatness, you're great, you deserve the Grammy, fine. It should not be allowed to define the greatness. Listen to me. Let me say that again. An award is supposed to be used to confirm greatness. An award is not supposed to be used to define greatness. Let me say it another way. If removing an artist's trophies destroys the argument for their greatness, then the argument was too dependent on the recognition rather than the actual contribution. Think about what I said. If removing the artist's accolades and them trophies, if removing all of that destroys them argument for their greatness of how great of an artist they are, then guess what? That means that your argument was too dependent on the trophies, on the recognition, than what the artists actually contribute. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. Okay? Good. Right? So hold on. What are the eligibility rules? Depends on what the accolade is. Right? Omara Mans, yeah, wanna stop with what wanna do cussing and stuff. Not nobody with the cussing and the trolling and thing. Anybody that want to come around and actually call in and disagree or tell me why them think different, definitely do it. Gold, silver, etc. Consider our award. Are you talking Grammy, etc.? All of it. Accolades, all poorhouse. Right? Good. Now, before we rank anybody, let's define bigger. So this is the fundamental problem with most dancehall debates that I find, right? People use the word bigger as though everybody agrees on the same meaning. We don't. Oh, no, of course, just talk. All right, good, good. Once you're not living peaceful and happy in the chat, I am happy. Once you are happy in the chat, I am happy. I don't care. Have fun. You're supposed to be have fun while you learn. You're not supposed to be serious. Have fun, man. Right? So everybody's using the word bigger, but you're not agreeing on what the meaning is. A lot of people don't, right? One person mean more successful. One person mean more influential. Another person mean more decorated, right? Another means more famous internationally, right? Another means more important to dancehall. Another means hotter right now. So those are not necessarily the same thing. So when someone says artist X is bigger than artist Y, my first response will always be bigger how? What do you mean by that? Bigger by what metric? Right? Because the answer can change depending on what we are measuring. This is why many dancehall arguments never end. The two sides not necessarily disagreeing about the evidence at all. They might be measuring two completely different things. Now, here's the fundamental principle of this entire life. We're not ranking what is easiest to count. We are ranking what best explains an artist's historical size and significance. Right? The distinction matters enormously in dancehall. Many Jamaican artists historically have not had the same consumption chart infrastructure as the major markets like the US and the UK. It's facts. Right? So there's a danger. We confuse what is documented to what actually happened. And we can't. Because not because something is not documented mean it didn't happen. It's just a fact. That's why we need our own charts and our own documentation, because we are losing history. Right? If something was not adequately measured, that doesn't mean that it didn't exist. And that becomes especially important when comparing artists, right? Especially artists from different generations. It's just a fact. Right? So there are three different types of metric. Right? There are three different types of metric. Before breaking down the 9 categories, here's another way to understand the framework, right? So there's the creation metrics, which is 45%. Because remember, I gave cultural impact 25 and influence 20. Why? These tell us what the artist actually caused. That's creation metrics. Right? Creation metrics. Kush Boss, what is it that you're trying to say? Why don't come up and say it? Oh, you might be a keyboard warrior. Come up and say what you want to say. Come up, man. I'll let you up. Poorhouse asks, what is the purpose of music from an artist's perspective? Poorhouse has another life all to itself. Me, I have to concentrate on what is ahead, what I have going on right here. So, right? So this creation metrics is 45%. Listen, what the creation metrics is tells us what the artist caused, cultural impact and influence. Reason why they deserve the greatest weight, because greatness should primarily reward what an artist contributed to the development of the genre. Influence and impact, that contributes to the development of the genre. It's just a fact. Then there's market metrics. What is market metrics? Market metrics tells us how successfully, that contribution traveled and converted. Market metrics basically tell me how successful you were. It converts into money because music is a business. So what are the market metrics? What have to do with the market? Think. Reach. clearly. Commercial success, clearly. Fan base strength, clearly. You know why fan base strength? That's why I say fan bases are very important, because you guys are free marketing. The camp are, well, you shouldn't be free, but you guys are marketing for the artists. It's just a fact. This is important because our model isn't simply sentimental. No. 40% of the score concerns whether the marketplace actually validated the artist. 40% of the store should actually consider whether people buy your music or not, or stream it or not, or if it was just a vanity project. If people not buying it or streaming it, why? How much impact would it have? How significant would it be? Market metrics have to have 40%. Legacy is confirmation or confirmation metrics. We give that 15%. What is confirmation metrics and why did I call it that? Think about it. These help confirm and preserve your greatness. This is your confirmation of who you are in the space. Longevity, as we said, 5%. Catalog strength, 5%. Live drawing power, 3%. Accolades, 2%. Everything, 15%. Right? Metric 1, cultural impact. I give it 25%. I told you guys this. Same Flame and Ematep and all of you men that you're going to call in, and Trooper. Call in now. We could discuss it together. We're going to start now, the different metrics. And Kush Boss too, you're free to call in too. How are you? Big up yourself. Big up. Big up, big up. All right. Well, listen, if you're not going, I'm gonna know why not call. I'm gonna say I don't want to call in and talk about it. But I'm gonna say you not call in. Hold on there. How you calling? You see the StreamYard link here. What you do is you click on it, and then you give access to your Gucci. Say Miss BlueFire, drop the link. You're right. Thank you, Gucci. Pin it and I pin it. So you just click on it, my dear. You click on it and then you come up. You give access to your camera and your mic, and then you turn off your camera, and I let you up. I'm ready to start to brainstorm this with you, gentlemen. Even though I gave some of my reasoning before, we can still discuss. Yeah, so when you click on it, it will lead you, it will give you steps. That's up there.
What Miss BlueFire?
Hey, big up Liam. Big up.
All me I say is, boy, all the other day I brought down the metrics and I brought down the metrics. You have to remember, say, somehow we slow, So we just want you just get to it and make you know what go on, there's a who big and who that and that. Yeah, go down in a 20% metrics and 30% this and that. Them things that can work with ghetto people. I just say me assess them.
Yeah, stop it. And guess what? It's on tape, so it will be on playback, right? But we have to
Yeah.
give it weight though, because we can't weigh everything the same. You understand?
Yeah.
We can't weigh everything the same, love. So we have to give it weight, and I want to know why you weigh certain things a certain weight. You know what I'm saying? You have to have your reasoning behind it. You understand?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, but me I say,
mm,
yeah, we music and measure music and
yeah.
calculate music, but the whole I chat a wait for hear what go and the interesting part and then sitting there. That the whole I will run come over there fine.
Oh, okay. Well, listen. You saw the live title. It was for the metrics of music. That's what we're discussing today.
Oh,
So
well I
yes. So if it's not exactly. So if it's not an interesting one for you, then that's okay.
okay.
There's
Well
a whole
I them give me the message wrong, you know.
yeah. No, that's no problem. If it's not interesting to you, that's okay. It's not
I'm
going to
not
be
there.
interesting to other people. You see what I'm saying? But what you should do is look at the thumbnail of the live. When you when you look at the
Okay.
thumbnail of the live, you'll
Yeah
see what
man.
that we're actually talking about.
Yo, yesterday,
But
yo, yesterday, boy.
check out another time when it's more interesting to you. We have other
Yeah,
things that
man.
we talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
With
All
the
right.
all
That
right,
make you go and
love.
talk about what you talk about. Yeah, yeah.
All right, love. Big up yourself. All
Yeah, man.
right.
Big up, man. Big up,
Big up
man.
yeah. Oh God, my Jamaican people. I love my Jamaican people, man. I swear to God. Yeah. So all right, so make we continue. But if the gentleman them now now calling Christina 45554 start laugh. I said, Christina, I have to laugh. I have to laugh, man. Everyone say you're going to break down the music and things like that, and me I wait for see what I go on. What you have to talk about the oh poor man, Lord God, poor you. All right, look, I'm gonna know. All right, so cultural impact, I'm give 25%, right? Is the highest level because it asks, did the artist change the culture? Or even more powerfully, it asks, what changed because this artist exists? Right? That's what it asks. Right? What changed because this artist exists? Right? This is why I put cultural impact first. Everything else can describe success, right? Cultural impact describe consequence, if you think about it. Cultural impact describe consequence. Everything else describe success. It's just a fact. It's the consequence of you being around. That's it. That's the cultural impact, right? Years later, can we still see their fingerprints on the industry, right? Yeah. So guess what? An artist can have fewer awards and fewer streams and fewer sales than another artist and still rank way above them historically because they changed the environment in which everybody else operated. It's just a fact. Big up yourself, Garnet Reed. Big up yourself, Garnet Reed, my Gaza bro. Right? It's just a fact. So, with an artist impact, what you ask, did they change the language, the fashion, the behavior, the trend, the business model, the songwriting, the performance, the fan culture, the direction of the genre, how Jamaica was perceived internationally? Did they do all of that? All right. Now, well, Miss Julia, why did you put impact to outrank accolades? I told you. An award is recognition within a system. Cultural impact is a change to the system itself. That's an enormous distinction, right? That's an enormous distinction. So, take away somebody's trophy. Does dancehall change? Probably not. Take away an artist responsible for fundamentally changing dancehall. Guess what? Now you might have to rewrite the genre's entire history. Omarion said that's why Mr. Cartel bigger than Sean Paul. Remember, we're talking about different things people bigger in, so we're gonna have to measure up everything because everything, every metric have a different weight, right? So that's why impact has to outweigh accolades, especially because in our Jamaican lifestyle where we don't have we don't have our own charts and you know what I mean. We depend on other people validating us basically. That kind of fool, right? Now, yeah, Massacre bigger than Skill in some respect, yeah. But Skill is still a skilled artist, very lyrical, Very good, right? Still a good. Can't take anything away from him. But Skilly is known internationally too. Can't take that away from him too, right? Very much so. Can't take that away from Skilly. So cartel have a bigger impact on the culture. That's definitely true. All right. So the absent test. Here's the absence test. Ricky Pro. Let me add it, Ricky. Hey Ricky, 1 second.
Oh
Let me
God.
big
Cause
up.
you know what reason, I like reason. So here
Yeah.
what me now. Go
Hold on.
back to your
1 second.
slides.
1 second, Ricky, please. Let me finish this, please. Finish my slides, and then afterwards we can talk here. 1 second. So the absence test, right? This is one of the strongest tests we can use. We're gonna ask if this artist, if this artist never existed, what would dancehall have lost? Right? If the answer is not much, then that's also information. Right? So that's the absence test that we use when we think about the impact of the artist as well. All right, Ricky, go ahead. What you're saying?
All right. You break down cultural impact in a 45%, correct?
No,
That's what I how much I put it at.
no, 25.
So the which one 25 is the highest?
25 was the highest cultural impact, and
Which
then I
which
had
one you have longevity in?
influencer had 20%, right? Um, Longevity, I had, because of the fact that it is skewed by other numbers, I gave it a lower number because we didn't want it to be double counted.
Oh, that
But we're gonna
more
get to longevity.
clarification for.
But yeah, no worries. I'm gonna give you the clarification for that. But I'm going to get, hold on. I'm going to get to that slide. But let me just take a break and explain what did I say. So longevity, the reason why I gave it 5%, right? Let me explain why. First of all, let me say what it is. Time is, of course, one of the strongest tests whether an artist's success was temporary or if it was actually durable, if it lasts the test of time, right? So longevity is not just you just exist like you're still alive. Longevity asks whether the artist is still basically him still relevant, him still respected, him still listened to, right? Him still commercially viable, right? Across the changing eras, across the generations, right? So longevity matters this much because hype can be manufactured. You understand? But the reason why I only give it 5% is because it's partly an outcome of other stronger metrics. I'll explain. If you have a powerful catalog, catalog itself is a metric that we use to define the greatness or measure the greatness of our artist, the catalog. If you have a powerful catalog, that is going to lead to you having a greater longevity because your catalog will stand the test of time. So having a powerful catalog with, if you say like say Vibes Cartel have a powerful catalog, say you give him 8 out of 10, let's just say that, right? That 8 out of 10, even the fact of the matter that him have longevity, yes, but we can't give the longevity 8 because the powerful catalog actually affect that grade of the longevity. So we'll be double counting. Another thing, a loyal fan base creates longevity as well. That helps towards it. Fan base is also a metric. Impact is also a metric. If you have higher impact, automatically, right, you're going to score higher with longevity because impact is the burn mark that's left, right? Right? No, influence itself too, less than impact, but influence itself can actually help keep an artist relevant through future generations. The influence of that artist, right? So, this is my reasoning. If I give longevity too much weight, I would be effectively rewarding the same achievements twice. I'll be double counting. So I want to be fair to all the artists. You see what I'm saying? So, and it will prevent me from automatically saying, you know what, an older artist is greater just because they've been around longer. You see what I'm saying? So that is why I only gave it 5% longevity. Not saying it doesn't matter. Yes, it matters. But other things lead to it. So we don't want to be double counting. Let me add Trooper to the stage. Hold on a second, Trooper. Before you go, I want to make sure that me and Ricky good on that, or Ricky want to say something
No,
different.
but you know, make me talk. Remember, say you want to finish explain, so I don't
No,
think
yes,
I would
okay,
have.
yeah. Okay, you talk, Ricky.
All
Go.
right, so go back to your slide where it say legacy and confirmation, please. Come here right down, you know.
No, I'm not there yet, Ricky. We're gonna get to that.
No man, I screenshotted it. You had a slide up where it say legacy and confirmation, and it a breakdown. The first thing in it was um longevity, which you
Oh,
gave it
okay.
the 5%.
Okay. Hold on.
That for sure say me a participate and a look.
Yeah, all right. Hold on. Let me see which one. Okay, here it
See
is.
there?
Legacy confirmation metrics. Yeah.
All right, so um first of all, is it that this is your metrics that you are using, we are reasoning from?
Is it that my metrics that I'm
Yeah,
using?
this is your metrics in overall in the musical dancehall space.
Yeah, that's what I said to you. Like this is
All
not
right, all
something
right.
that I. Hold on. Let me explain to everybody again. Like I explained to them before them even came on the live. This is supposed to be like a brainstorming session, not a debate. So, dancehall deserves some thoughts. This is just my thoughts, my personal thoughts, and I bring you the reasoning behind my numbers. They're not written in stone. That's why I invited all of you well thinking men here so that we can flesh it out together and see where we disagree or where we need to put more attention. You understand? So it's not written in stone, it's not from a book. That's why I'm giving you my reasoning behind why. So go ahead now.
Yeah. So for me, just for clarity, I was wondering why longevity never fall inside of the cultural impact in terms of based off of longevity would have said that your longevity, as we explained, whether you're dead or alive, right? And basically, for you to have that longevity and it is surviving like a Bob Marley, it would have mean that you would have done a great number of cultural impact on the musical
No, cultural
genre space.
impact leads to longevity. It is something that factors to longevity. You're saying the same thing I just said. Cultural impact leads to longevity. Catalog strength also leads to longevity, right? Those type influence also leads to your longevity as well. So
Yeah, man,
longevity is actually a
actually.
final right of those things. Yeah.
All right. Go through the class, mommy.
Okay, but you understand what I'm saying though.
Yeah, man, me I
Yeah,
follow
man,
you.
yeah,
Me
man.
just want to know say with the point same page when
Good.
we have
Yeah,
a
man, we're on the same
conversation, you
page.
know.
Yeah, man, we're on the same page. But again, we're treating this like a brainstorm thing. So if you have any other reasoning as to why it should be different, please make me know because this is
As in,
giving.
why should I think it should be different from 5%?
Yes, give me a reason.
All right, for me, me conclude when see you finish go through your slides, come in and
Okay,
go
all
say
right,
something
good.
then our
Yeah,
next slide.
good because it's not going to be that much slides today because I wanted to leave enough space for everybody to talk. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man.
All right, Trooper, do what you have to say, Trooper. Troop. Yeah.
No, but moving
You
forward,
don't
you know,
move
me
on.
agree. Me agree
All right,
with everything so
Liam, you
far.
come back. You say you wasn't enjoying yourself. If you don't enjoy yourself, why are
No,
you?
man, no, man. I never that me I say, you know. Me I say those continue make me learn something. You understand what me I say?
So now you come back. Now you come back. But Liam, you're a joker, you know. All right,
Yeah,
good.
man.
No
No,
problem.
nobody listen to
Welcome yourself.
Ricky.
No, welcome.
All right, sir.
Jamaican people, something else. All right, listen. Next metric. Okay, we did the cultural impact. We did that. We did that now. Hold on there. We did that. Damn. Absent test. We did that. Yeah. So if this artist never existed, what would dancehall have lost? If the answer is not much, that's big information right there. Right? No. But if removing the artist means big up yourself, Kenny Marshall, big up yourself, my fire bro. You know, say you're supposed to have a range. But if removing the artist means certain artists don't emerge, certain sounds don't develop the same way, certain slang never exists, certain international doors never open because this person never exists, and certain fan movements didn't form, then we're dealing with significant impact. That's why Bounty Killer is one of the most impactful men in artists in dancehall, as well as Vibes Cartel too. Big up yourself, DY. Big up yourself, my bro.
Open
Big
up
up
this
DY.
BlueFire. Me there listen, you know. I true
No,
me there in a black background kind of busy, but me there listen, you know.
no worries, man. You have anything you want to add or subtract?
Me I go and take in what you say. Me
Go
not
on, see,
interrupt
no
you.
problem, no problem, bro. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Uh, big up, Miss
Big
Blue.
up, big
Big
up
up.
dancer, Marty. Big up
And big up
dancer.
Rowan
Up my
Noble.
J, up my J.
Big up.
Up
All
my
right.
J them too, you know. Ricky,
Yeah.
chop.
Bless
Uh,
up, bless up.
Miss BlueFire.
All right. All right. So now, and me always think from the other side of the chessboard. So somebody going to say to me now and say, but Miss Bluefire, impact is subjective. This is the response. Its measurement requires interpretation. That's true. You have to interpret the type of impact, but it is observable. The manifestations of impact is observable. You can't deny it, right? Impact isn't simply, oh, I feel this person was important. No. The real question is terminology adopted by the public. Even with Beenie Man and even Snoop Dogg when he says she's a man and stuff like that. Stylistic imitations, right? People trying to follow you, right? Changes in subject matter, fashion, sound, artist behavior, other artists that work in the same industry, fan culture, right? Media discourse,
And
right?
don't
And
forget slangs.
slang stood right. That's terminology adopted by the public. I should have just put slangs. You're right.
Yeah, slangs.
I should have just put slang.
Because why and all of them thing they
Yeah,
burn
yeah.
up.
That is slang, but I should have just write
Mm.
slang instead of this long thing. You're right. Terminology. That is book talk. Okay, there you go. Right? You're right. Good. Now, also, next question. What existed afterwards that did not exist or did not exist at the same scale because it got bigger or smaller before them? That's evidence as well. Right? Metric number 2, I'm moving on to influence. The weight I give it was 20%. Here why. Impact and influence, they are related, it's true, but they are not identical, right? Impact is what changed, the mark left. Influence would be the fire flame. Let me explain this again. All right, let me explain it with the beach. I'll give an example with the beach. You say me and TG Media go to the beach, right? Me and him family and him go to the beach, right? Him say that before I eat, I go and swim. And I swim and I feel good and I come and eat. And him say, you know what? Usually I eat first and then I swim. But you swim first. All right, let me try it. Because I influenced him try it one time. That influence made such an impact on him. Him love it so much that in every beach trip when I am not present, even after I am dead and gone, it left such an impact on him of how he felt that every time him go beach from that day, him go and swim first and then eat after. So my influence, I influenced him because him see me do it and say, all right, I'm gonna try that, no problem. That's me influencing him. The impact is what's left, just like the burn mark on my arm. The influence was the fire flame. The impact is the scar that is left on my arm. That's the impact. The scar that is left, what is left from the influence of that fire flame. That fire flame influenced my skin, burn it. The impact is the scar that's left. Right? Good. So they're related, but they're not the same thing. Now, influence, think about it. Who started sounding like you? Who study you? Who cites you? Who copy your cadence? Who adapted your songwriting style? Right? Who adapted your image? Who adapted your marketing strategy? Who built careers using elements that you popularize? Yes, influence definitely deserves enormous weight because it allows an artist's creative DNA to survive beyond their own career. It's fact. Because if I influence you, I don't have to wear it. You are wearing it. It's just a fact. So an artist can stop recording tomorrow and continue existing indirectly through dozens of other artists. Is a fact. Right? That is enormous. That's enormous power. But anybody want to break in the meantime and tell me if you agree or disagree, feel free to. Big up yourself, Mr. Lawrence. Good to see you, Mr. Lawrence. Good to see you. Right? Now, this is why I say influence is below impact. Right? Because influence can remain primarily inside of that profession. Right? Okay. Say an artist can influence 50 musicians without substantially changing the broader Jamaican culture. It's just a fact. But cultural impact itself, it will affect the musicians, the fans, the language, the fashion, the social identity, the youth culture, because what stays after is the mark that's left. The international perception, the mark that's left. That's impact. Here's my fire line. If everybody after you sounds slightly different because you existed, you were influential. If society itself behaves slightly different because you existed, you were impactful. Screenshot it, think about it. Let's think about it together. Dancehall people, listen to me. We cannot complain about not having any structure when we have such great minds and you're not on the panel working out some difficult things. We have great minds that we don't put to use for the culture. And that's why I want this session here to be brainstorming. It's not a debate because this is not written in stone. It's just my reasoning. Right? And probably Uno have some better reasoning or have some more insight than me to tell me why. For instance, a lot of people going to be vexed. I give metric 15%. Metric reach the metric. Okay, I give metric number 3, which is reach, 15%. Why? What does reach ask? Reach ask, how far did you travel? Not physically, of course, musically, culturally, commercially, right? We cannot, gentlemen, have a serious discussion about artist size while ignoring audience scale. We can't. So this is where artists like Sean Paul and Shaggy become extremely important in the conversation. It's just a fact. Their international reach does matter, right? Why? Because it reaches across countries, language, demographics, the diaspora communities, mainstream audiences, and most importantly, non-dancehall audiences. But I still give it only 15%. Why? Reach is not impact. Don't confuse it. I see people confuse this all the time. Listen to me. You can pay for reach. Reach is marketing too. You pay for reach. Right? Now, here's the thing. If your song have substance and you pay for reach, you won't have to pay for reach much longer because it will catch a fire organically. And people will start to share that will spread like wildfire. Right? But you can boost it with reach. It's just a fact. So the distinction is essential. A person can know your biggest song without knowing your catalog. It's just a fact. A person can dance to your record without becoming your fan. That's why some artists don't have a real solid fan base, but they have listeners. A person can recognize your name without you substantially affecting their worldview. So, reach tell me how many people you touched, but impact tells me how deeply something changed in those people. Or let's think about it this way. Reach tells us how many doors opened. Impact tells us what happened after the door opened. That's why reach gets 15%, not 25%. Reach to me cannot size up with impact. Not at all. Right? Big up yourself, no layer. Big up yourself. Now, metric number 4, commercial success. I know Ricky going upset with this one. Oh, commercial success get only 15%. Because Ricky likes commercial success. Okay, I was thinking about the business when you hear him talk. No problem. That's good. That's me too. But let's talk first about why commercial success matters. It matters because music is culture. Yes, but music is also industry. Eventually, the attention have to demonstrate economic demand. Listen, that's why even with little Berger Don, Mr. Fambo, little nephew, smart little boy. Why? I don't even call him little boy, but teenager, right? Or young adult. Because him turned the attention into something. It's not in, and that's why I said these people on the internet chase attention, chase attention. Attention is very fickle. What are you going to use that attention to do? That's why I was upset that Massacre did not even have a piece of him album in the show. because that could have been a big marketing level for him in his own show, right?
Yeah, let me
Anyway,
get that clearly because there was a barcode there
yeah, the bar, yeah, I know the
to
barcode.
buy the album. So
Yeah,
that
I
you
know.
so that is a piece of it. If you have
Yeah, but
seen where
it
it is
wasn't.
advertised to scan the album.
Yeah, but to me, it could have been incorporated a bit more.
I would
But
rather you say that than say he
yeah,
didn't have a bit of pieces in there.
no, well, that's what I meant. But you're right, not pieces, but yeah, it should have been incorporated more. And I actually said it on my other live when I broke down Massacre's performance, and you should check that out actually. Okay, so metric number 4 is the commercial success. Now, yes, it matters. Your attention must demonstrate economic demand. It's just a fact. Money matters because it demonstrates that people didn't simply just discuss you. People discussing you, so what? Are they paying you? They're giving you money? They consumed what you created. So, in commercial success, what do we always talk about in the panels? We talk about the album sales, talk about the single sales, we talk about the streaming, the certifications, the publishing, talk about the touring income, we talk about licensing, we talk about the merchandise, we talk about the commercially successful collaborations. We do. We talk about them. That's a part of commercial success. Now, why isn't commercial success number 1, Julia, since you love business so much? Reason, because eras are different. Eras are different. Listen to what I'm saying. A dancehall artist operating in 1995 did not have Spotify. An artist in 2005 did not have TikTok. A 2026 artist does have both of them. So raw numbers cannot automatically be compared across all eras. Can't. Cannot. Reason number 2, markets are all measured differently. And this is important for Jamaica, right? The United States, Canada, UK, them have them own sophisticated music consumption tracking infrastructures. Them have them own charts. We don't, right? Our consumption has not been captured with the same consistency at all. In other words, if I say to you, Trooper, what was the biggest song in 1994 for Jamaica in Jamaica? Are we going here? Me here say, oh, you know, so that song did big too. No, but that song did big, in a dance hall. Yeah, man, that song did big. Nobody has a record of it. We do not know. So we are losing historical data because of the fact that we don't track our own progress, and we don't chart our own, we don't track our own numbers and measure our own selves. Right? So we look overseas and other places for validation. And for a music genre that creates so many other music genres that everybody thieving and biting from, we deserve to actually have our own chart and our own infrastructure. And we do not. That's why discussions like these are important. Now, the absence of data is not necessarily the absence of consumption. Not because you don't measure something mean it don't exist. That's a fact. I'm going to say that again. The absence of data is not absence of consumption. In dancehall, right? If dancehall was exploding through the sound systems, the street dancing, dub plates, CDs, the pirated CDs too, the mixtapes, the informal distribution, the community circulation, guess what? Those behaviors there could be culturally enormous, right? While being poorly represented in the sales data. It's facts. It's not represented in the sales data. That matters.
We stick up in this on this BlueFire.
Yes.
Um, People in our chat and this and that. Anybody who is familiar with the name, the Ottawa mixtape and the cassette ninja and the DJ Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
Those mixtape back in the days when they are circulating in Jamaica those were the mediums of getting out. A lot of these giants that we see now in a them time when there was the new artists, those were the platforms that was pushing them out to the forefront. Right? Every man they fight for the pan a cassette ninja, DJ Kenny, or a Ottawa CD. So there was no tracking with them because one man get one CD and him burn it give whole village. You get
Exactly.
me? So the impact was there, but there was no tracking to see how well that project was basically doing because it was bootleg a lot. So
Exactly.
yeah, just to
Exactly.
piggyback off of where they say.
Exactly, Trooper. 100%. 100% Trooper. Thanks, Miss T, for dropping the calling link, sister. Thank you. Right? Reason number three. Reason number two. Reason number three. Consumption does not automatically prove depth. It's true. There's numbers versus legend. A viral song can generate enormous numbers, but that doesn't automatically create a legendary artist. It's just fact. So, commercial success, yes, it deserves major weight, but it cannot become the supreme measurement of greatness. Again, a viral song can generate enormous numbers, but that doesn't automatically create a legendary artist. You ever hear about one hit wonders? Somebody don't even know who sing the one hit wonder them. It's just a fact.
Owe me. Owe me.
I mean, that's one. That's one too, right? Facts, right? All right. Now let's go to fan base strength. Big up comfort zone zero. Big up comfort zone. Let's go to fan base strength. Now, this is why I give it 10%. All right. Now, why it matters. This metric, it separates audience from community, right? Yeah, a listener will hear you, but a fan will follow you. Okay? An artist could have 20 million casual listeners, and another could have 2 million extremely committed supporters. Those represent two different kinds of power. That distinction matters. You know what a committed fan do? Like even all of the camps them do? They buy, they stream, they attend, they travel, they defend, they share, they consume the catalog. They remain with the artist through the artist's quiet periods. And a lot of artists have a lot of quiet periods. It's just a fact, right? And they introduce younger people to the artist music, or even older people. I introduce older people to my artist music, right? But reach versus fan base, you have to think about that, right? This is my favorite distinction because reach tell me how much people come through the door, fan base tell me how much people stay. That's your fan base, right? And your fan base strength, guess what else it affect? It affect your sales, it affect your touring, it affect your longevity, like we were talking before. It affect your chart performance. It affect your engagement. It affect your brand value, how valuable your brand is, how strong your fan base is just a fact. And it affect your cultural memory. No, I did not say your brand value is fully only fan base. I never said that. I say your fan base affects your brand value. How much it catch on. It's just a fact. But why isn't fan base higher than what you give it, Miss Julia? Why? Because of the tribal effect. We have to be fair. Listen to me. We can't just talk about the good, the good, the good. We have to talk about the real and the negative drawbacks to some of these things, right? The tribal effect is why I cut down the fan base. Why? Because fandoms can become tribal, and fan intensity can create an exaggerated perception of an artist's size inside of that community. It's just fact, right? 10,000 extremely loud fans can sometimes look bigger online than 1 million casual consumers. It's just true. Listen, I hear somebody say Dexter that don't have no fans. Dexter that have fans, his fan base may not be as loud or may not even be as tribal, but him have a fan base and and they're intense when you go to one of them shows them, right? So as a species, we reward devotion. That's true, but you don't want to allow devotion alone to determine greatness. You understand what I'm saying? Because people can be devoted. You don't want to use that alone. You see what I'm saying? Or give it too much weight, right? Because when it's extreme, it can exaggerate. So we have to be balanced and balance it out. It's just a fact, right? Again, same thing we're talking about longevity. Reason why I give it 5%. Everybody say, oh, he's been doing this for 25 years. My question is, doing what for 25 years? Just existing? Because simply existing is not greatness. It's not. right? Longevity don't mean that, oh, you're still alive. No, there's a lot of old artists that are still alive. But them not have no, them not have no, them, you're not listening to them, you're not hearing them. Longevity must mean that you have sustained relevance, sustained recognition, sustained demand, people still want to see you, sustained influence, sustained visibility, and sustained catalog consumption. Barry Salmon have longevity, right? Tony Rebel have longevity. Queen Ifrica have longevity, right? Time matters because hype can be manufactured, right? And yes, a marketing campaign can create a moment, right? Fine. But time is much harder to manipulate. And it's not a matter of you just existing like, oh, I'm still alive. That's in longevity. Now, all of these things create a longevity. Are you still alive and still relevant and still recognized and still in demand and still influential and you're still visible and people still consuming your catalog? Why are you still alive? That's longevity. A matter of fact, even if you're not still alive, Bob Marley have longevity. You're not still alive. Of course, Cartel have longevity. That goes without saying, right? Now, catalog strength, I gave it 5%. Anybody want to say no? Please say no after I explain why. Listen, when all the arguments disappear, the songs remain. What is the catalog? The catalog is the artist's permanent body of evidence. Yes, Sean Paul and Shaggy, they have longevity too, comfort zone. I'm right, they do. Right? Beanie Man too have longevity, his songs. But the recent album, that needs to be long come again, but that's a different story. Anyway, the catalog is the artist's permanent body of evidence. So, question: how many? This is how you determine if it's a strong catalog. These are the questions that you're supposed to ask. Okay. How many classics in him catalog? How many hits? How many anthems? How much replay value them have? How many songs became like actual cultural moments? How many records survive the generational changes? Like how much of them record them actually survive this 10 years, that 15, that 12 years, that 12 years? Right? That's what you ask about. Those are the questions that you ask when you talk about catalog strength. Now, catalog size does not equate to catalog strength. Not at all. This distinction is essential. An artist can create 1,000 songs or release 1,000 songs. That doesn't automatically make the catalog stronger than an artist with 300 songs. Because him can create 1,000 fool songs and nobody wants to play it and nobody don't listen to it. And the artist with 300 songs, 250 songs, them is banging all over the place. So we measure the quality, the importance, and the durability, not just the volume. Quality over quantity, right? Now, the catalog also feeds several other categories. I want you guys to pay attention here. Your catalog feeds your fan base. If you have a strong catalog, more than likely you're going to have a strong fan base. It affects it. Your catalog affects your longevity. If you have a very good catalog, it's going to affect your longevity. How long people are going to play your things. Why? Because if you have a strong catalog, you have strong replay value. If you have strong replay value, that affects your longevity. Why? Because people return to that album or return to that song on their own volition. That's replay value. Okay? The catalog also affects their touring, of course. Everybody always say, you hear him, still hear people say it all the time. Them have catalog for old people for 90 minutes. They have this, catalog affects your touring. Catalog also affects your impact. Of course it does. Duh, makes sense. And catalog is going to affect your commercial success. Clearly, if it's replay value, it's on playlist, people are streaming it. That affects your commercial success. So catalog feeds several other categories. I want you guys to pay attention here because I've been hearing a whole lot of double counting on the different panels. We have to break these things apart because it deserves our actual attention. It does. So again, we must avoid the double counting.
Wait, before you move on, I just want
Yes,
to say, like how you're on catalog, and the
yes.
first thing would have talked about the 1,000 song versus the 300 song. How can one define what is just a hit song in the catalog versus a big song? Because I think that's always a debate going on panel as well. Persons thinking a song is a hit song when it's really a big song.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you differentiate now in the catalog a
There's a
hit
big
song
difference.
from a big song?
There's a big difference, and I'm gonna tell you. We're gonna discuss it. We're gonna discuss it when we finish the slides because it have its own breakdown too for it. So we're gonna discuss it after these slides. Is that fair? I'm not going to forget.
All right.
Yeah, because if I go into it, it's going to stray. You see what I'm saying? Because there's a big difference. You're right, Ricky. It's not the same thing. A big song, a hit song, and a hot song is two different things. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? It's two completely different things. So we can go into it after, but I don't want to stray too much. But I'm going to go into it right after. All right. So we can move on from this then. Live drawing power only give it 3%. People going to say why only give it 3%? What does live drawing power ask? Can your name move people from their phones into a venue? That's important. Streams are passive, they can be passive. Buying tickets require considerable more commitment. Is a high friction activity. It's called a high friction activity. Buying tickets, okay, you have to buy the ticket, you have to plan the day, you have to plan the transportation, you have to physically get dressed, you have to physically go down there, you have to physically plan for comeback, all of that. So it's high friction than just streaming. So it takes more investment and it's much more expensive. So a person has to spend the money, travel, dedicate time, and physically show up. And that is powerful evidence of demand. Powerful evidence of demand. But why I only give it 3%? Right? Because the limitation, touring opportunity isn't equally available to every artist. If we're going to score the artists right across the board, we have to make the playing field a little bit level. Yes, it's true. A lot of them, it's not our fault why them can't travel. It's true. But at the same time, it's not easy for a lot of people to get visa, period. Right? And not only that, not only the visa, right? Some people have criminal records from before them even bust. It's just a fact. Right? So we can't put too much because guess what? We do not know a lot of our artists' actual drawing power because them can't get the opportunity to show it. It's just a fact. So in a rainbow and Skittles world, we would give it more. But the fact of the matter is we have to make it as even as possible for all the artists. Right? Touring opportunity isn't equally available to every artist. Okay? Visa problems, immigration restriction, the criminal records, geography, management infrastructure, a lot of them don't have that. Promoter relationships, a lot of them don't have that. Touring networks, so many of them don't have that. What is the impact of that? All can affect an artist's ability to demonstrate live demand. A lot of our artists, we can't even tell what them live demand is. But it cannot dominate the entire greatness calculation, right? Drawing power is very, very valuable. It's valuable evidence of demand. It's valuable evidence of demand. It is valuable evidence of demand, but it cannot dominate the entire greatness calculation. We have to be fair. Real Teddy said, only thing missing, Miss Julia, is dominance and lyrical powers. Almost there. Not missing. Because those things actually lead to influence and stuff. We're going to get, hold on, let me add you. Did I add you? You there, Teddy? Add to stage. Add to stage. Well, Uno wasn't adding to the, Uno wasn't on the stage. I'm thinking of the other stage. On the stage. Never know. Hush. Trooper, you
Later,
want
D,
to sorry because you were backstage the whole time. I thought you were on the stage.
D were they there this while ago?
Oh God, I never know that. Yeah, it must hear
No,
one.
no, ask me, ask, come just go back
Yeah,
over
he must hear,
YouTube
but
for
it's
the link,
still.
come here, D were voice this while ago.
Yeah, he was here, but he must just I'm still listening, but him just couldn't
Oh,
stay on the panel, which
oh,
is fine,
oh, oh.
which is fair. But listen, I apologize. I thought you were on the stage.
No,
I
man, me
didn't
did
know that
there,
you were.
man. Me don't know what happened just a while ago. Me get a call and
Oh,
it
you
just
were
kick me
here.
off.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Okay, cool. So you want to add anything before I move on Teddy? Teddy?
Yeah, yeah, neither Miss Julia. Me there list man, so me can't catch it late, you know.
No
But me
worries,
there
no
try
worries,
to catch up, you know.
no worries, no worries. All right, so we can
Yeah.
continue. Dance all wars and Medea in my listen. Thanks, D-War. D-War, you're supposed to have a range too, you know. I gotta fix that. All right, I have to fix so much things with this child. All right, let's see. Now, we get accolades. Accolades will reach? Yeah. Accolades, I give it 2%. Here comes the argument. Why only 2%, Miss Julia? You know why? Because accolades are a third party recognition of achievement. They're not necessarily the achievement itself. A Grammy itself cannot manufacture cultural change. Well, it can actually manufacture influence because after somebody gets a Grammy, they become more influential. So let me take that back. A Grammy cannot, well, you know what? It can actually
Hey,
increase.
me nearly argue this with you, you know, miss.
Yeah,
With the
it cannot.
accolades, me. I be real with you, you know.
Yeah, but hold on there. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. May I think through this? No, it cannot manufacture it, but it can influence it. So a Grammy can actually influence cultural change. No, hold on, let me go back because that means I wasn't wrong then. Let me fix that. Oops, go back. Oh, what we did there? Hold on there. Hold on there. Yeah. Hold on, let me think this through. A Grammy cannot manufacture a cultural change. That's right. It can't manufacture it. It can impact it, but it can't manufacture it. In other words, it can't create it from nothing. Not because you get a Grammy means that that's going to create your influence. No, it will increase it. It can affect it, but it won't create it. A Grammy cannot manufacture fan loyalty. It can increase the fan loyalty, but it don't manufacture it. Catalog quality. It cannot manufacture your catalog quality, or it cannot even increase it. A Grammy cannot manufacture longevity, no, but it can actually help with it. Can it help with it? Can a Grammy help with longevity? No, I don't think so. People just remember that that's your impact, not your longevity. It can recognize or amplify those things. That's true. So it can amplify or recognize those things. Let me tell you why I have a problem with before you go Ricky Pro about the accolades. Let me tell you why I only give it 2%. Here's my reasoning. Number one, 5 problems with using the accolades as the main measure. Number one, eligibility. You cannot win an award you are not eligible for. So there are some awards that some people would win, but them can't win it because they're not eligible, or even can't even travel to be a part of that award, or can't afford the money to enter the award. Number two, the institutional geography. Many of the awards that dancehall fans use to validate Jamaican artists, them originate outside of Jamaica. So we are partly asking, how effectively did Jamaican music penetrate somebody else's institution? This is why we need our own charts. This is why we need our own validation. This is why we need our own everything. Big up yourself, Imatep. Thanks for being here. Right? Big up Success Over Hype. Good to see you, my love. Good to see you. Bless up. Right? So, because of the institutional geography as well, right? We have to think about that. We're basically asking, how effectively did Jamaican music penetrate somebody else's institution? That matters. It matters. But it shouldn't be the final authority on Jamaican cultural significance. No. No. Another reason why I have a problem with giving accolades too much weight. They deserve the weight enough, but not too much. Here's why. The voting systems. Awards depend on voters, juries, committees, eligibility, submissions. So if you don't buy a ticket, you don't have a chance. Campaigning as well. If you don't have the team or the money to fund the team to campaign, forget it. And institutional preferences. What does the Grammy prefer to score on? What do they prefer to hear? That introduces variables beyond simply who was the greatest, right? Rap music don't use accolades to judge greatness. We're going to go into that. That's partially true too, right? Right? So that's 3, the voting systems. Number 4, the category construction. Here's another problem that I have with giving accolades too much. Category constructions. Why? Who decides what qualifies as reggae? Who decides what qualifies as dancehall? Which releases are eligible? Which release period counts? The institution establishes those rules. So because it's so narrow to fit their institution, right? We have to be measured in how much weight we actually give it. Comfort Zone said they use numbers. Yes, they do use numbers. They definitely use numbers, but how they come up with those numbers and what is the story that those numbers are telling? That's the question.
Not in every case them use numbers still, because them still have a committee of musicians where actually listen to the project them and see and basically judge the effort and the musicality them put in, the instrumentation, all of them type of stuff there. So even if them I use when it come to reggae, me know. Like hip hop and them something that buy out go on, me know for sure and them this and that. But with reggae, me can say reggae are one I most. I don't know if anybody would disagree. I can say reggae dancehall. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Kinda
But
that a kind of one I most consistent when name a category in the Grammy over one certain period of time for years now. Anybody who want disagree can tell me if them do.
but she now was saying they use numbers. I think that's what she was saying. I think she was saying like they vote too. Like they will vote like what you're saying and they put a number to it. Or she was just saying use the chart numbers. Oh, I probably misinterpreted. But yeah, you're right. You're right, Trooper. Nolier says I wasn't here early, but I'm expecting Impact to have the most weight. It did. Nolier, go back and start from the beginning. After we're done, I catch up where you miss. Right? Category construction. We have to think about this. Now, guys, let me explain. The rest of the slides is not that many left. The rest of the slides are not beautified because guess what? The beautification thing stopped work. And because it stopped work, I wasn't going to spend too much time beautifying the slides when the content is there. Waste of time. Right? Oh, she said they meant sales numbers. No, they use other metrics there when it come on to Grammys and stuff. Right? No, category construction. Yeah. So the institution established those rules. Number 5, there's historical inequality. Imatep, right after this slide, I'm going to let you say a word. Historical inequality. People don't consider this. Why? And all the artists may have built a legendary career before today's award ecosystem, right? Before today's digital platforms and before today's global music infrastructure actually existed. So raw trophy counts can therefore privilege particular eras. If you can, if in your era you can't get certain trophies, or there was a lot of racism, or there was a lot of shutout, or your John wasn't even recognized, then how can we really judge that across the era? We need to have something. We need to have a balance scale that we can use across all eras. See what I'm saying? If we're going to have some structure, we need structure that we can use to measure, right? So there's historical inequality. We have to consider that. So here's the strongest accolade argument. An accolade is evidence that an institution recognized your greatness. I will say that again. An accolade is evidence that an institution recognized your greatness. It is not proof that the institution created your greatness. And what that means is if an artist's greatness disappears totally when you remove their trophies, the argument for their greatness was never strong enough. So it's what lead to the trophies that is actually the reason why they get the trophy is the reason why they're great. Supposed to be, right? But because of the fact that there's human error, and because of the fact that there's politics, and because of the fact that it just is institutionalized, a lot of people who supposed to get it because they have the greatness to get it, them don't get it because it's still a voting body. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes the end results don't show the true material of what is actually being judged, because you're dealing with people and you're dealing with a government body. I'm not saying to throw it out, but I'm just saying let's be measured in how we weigh these things, especially because a lot of things are not eligible at certain times, right? And submission, and I need money behind it, and I need money behind a campaign to push the marketing. It's just a fact. There are a lot of variables, so we have to try to level it a little bit. Imatep, before we continue, do you have anything that you want to add or take away? Thank you for the 30 jewels, DWAR. Blessings, bro. Everybody on the Play Black, please go and check out DWAR channel on YouTube as well as on TikTok at Dancehall War TV. He also does ads for people and cartoons, funny cartoons. So please check him out. My American friends that check in afterwards and try to understand dancehall music, check out Dancehall War, right? We have some real great discussions over there. So bless up Dancehall War. Check out also Imatep University, Imatep University's channel. Also have some really great discussions, heated discussions, great discussions nevertheless. So check him out. Yes, Imatep.
Hey man, bless up, Mrs. Bluefire. Bless
Bless
up
up
to the
there.
panelists. Bless up to the chat.
Man, G.
Yeah, man. I see where for the accolades, you give it 2%. Okay, so Bob Marley, One Love was labeled the song of the century, right? Would that be considered an accolade?
It was labeled it. How was it labeled?
No,
Who
a song
gave
of the
it?
century.
Who gave it that label?
Was it Billboard or whatever entity? Yeah, I think
If it was
yeah.
I mean, if it was an actual institution, then it would be an accolade.
Yes. So I'm saying it was labeled song of the century, right? And you do have artists who have been labeled even the greatest artists of the 21st century and things like that. That would be considered an accolade as well, right?
That's right. Once it's been given like an actual official and from an institution.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean even in like even in music you have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and artists are inducted in there, right?
Yeah.
So that would be considered an accolade as well, right?
That's right.
But when you look at it though, like, and I know you mentioned the Grammys, but there are many different aspects of the accolades, right?
Right,
So
exactly right.
even an artist being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it's based on the impact of their music, right?
Exactly right. That is why I give it so low.
But if it's based on the impact of their music, right? A Michael Jackson inducted into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and things like that, or another artist. It's based on the impact of their music. 2% for me. Yeah, I think it could have been greater because just like a Bob Marley, One Love being labeled like the song of the century,
right?
Based on the impact of the song.
But that is why Imatep. This is the whole reason why I'm lowering some of these grades, right? Is because we want to avoid the double counting that we've been seeing on the other platforms. Meaning, and this is what I was saying in the beginning, right? Awards are okay. Even though the awards are the recognition of the achievements, right, rather than the achievement itself, right? A lot of things are influenced by it. So this is what I'm trying to say, right? The impact, the influence, the catalog usually leads to the accolades, because the accolades in itself, awards in itself, right, are its own scoreboard. So we don't want to be double counting, right? So let me see if I can. Yes, them deserve inclusion because the recognition is meaningful. The fact that you even get the next step of having the recognition is meaningful, right? But they belong at the bottom because an award can come from. Let me explain. It should not be allowed to define the greatness, right? Because it's a lot of the other metrics add up to give you the accolade. So you're going to be counting it. You're going to be double counting it. That is what I mean to say. That is how that is what I'm trying to say. So a lot of these accolades that you get, like you say, the most whatever the most loved song in the world. That is from the impact. We're already going to count the artist impact as a metric. So if we give accolades too much weight, right, we're double counting a lot of the other metrics, because a lot of the accolades come from them having such high numbers in the other metrics. You having a high impact affect, say you getting this mobile award. You having high impact and influence can affect you having that you getting that impact award, which is an accolade. You getting the Irama award, right? That can be coming from catalog strength as well, right? And also considering their drawing power as well. So all of these accolades then is a byproduct of a lot of these other metrics that we already counted. So that is why we don't want the double counting. So I'm not saying that it doesn't matter, don't get me wrong. What we're trying to say is we're trying to basically make sure so we don't double count, because some metrics lead to other metrics. Some metrics affect other metrics. Now, let me go into it and I'll show you what I mean. This will explain exactly, right? How all 9 metrics affect each other. I knew this was going to come up, and that's why I say, you know what, Julia, spend the time and do it. Don't bother worry about no beautifying, no blasted side, right? All right, let's go. This is where the model becomes much more sophisticated. These aren't 9 independent boxes, they're gears. One metric can produce, can reinforce, can amplify, or can validate another metric. Let's talk about cultural impact. Cultural impact affects everything else. Impact affects influence. If you change the culture, artists begin copying you and building upon what you change. Just a fact. Your impact will affect your influence. Impact affect your reach. Cultural movements attract attention. You can even look at even what Mr. Famba doing on TikTok right now. The impact of him joke them, him so blasted funny, right? Why is it doing this? It's so, oh God, I don't want to be showing this right now. Let me see if it's going to show. Why is it me out? Hold on there. See? This is what you call crosses. This is what you call crosses, see?
It's a trouble and set like rain.
Look at that. But you see, I always laugh off of them things. Let me see if I can remember my password on that screen. Yeah. Because the thing is, there's something that wasn't working. Chrome wasn't working, so I have to use Safari. Let me see. Let's see. See if this works. Will it work?
I see the password there now.
You never seen a damn password to lie.
I see it in my tab.
You never see it.
Well, no, so I never really see it still, so yeah, you bet that one to pass,
All right, look. When we there now. When we there. All right. Here we there, right? So, yes, your impact. Look at Mr. Fambo. Mr. Fambo impact him so damn funny, right? That affect him reach right now. Cultural movements attract attention. Your impact also affect your commercial success. Clearly. Your cultural importance, that will create demand. Of course, people going to want to see you. That's commercial success. But if you want to hear what you have to say, that's commercial success. Your cultural impact affect fan base strength. Yeah. People frequently develop identity around culturally important artists because they love them. They want to be like them. They want to be around them. Your impact affect longevity. Your culture keeps historical important artists alive. So your impact affect everything. Not everything, not every other metric affect everything else. That's why impact is so high. Let's continue. Impact also affect catalog strength. Songs associated with major cultural moments become classics. And when you get the new class, the daddy, and all the other ones. Cultural impact on live draw. People want to physically experience cultural important artists. It's true. If you are impactful, people want to come see you. Your impact affects your accolades. Institutions may eventually recognize the importance the culture already established eventually. Sometimes I'm do it immediately, sometimes years later. Look how much time you hear people say, oh, I'm just getting lifetime achievement award, and then I'm dead 2 weeks later. Right? At the end of the man life, them giving this life. Well, I guess them have to wait a lifetime to give them that lifetime achievement. I don't know. But I think you should give people certain things when them can enjoy it. See how clean my desktop is? See that? So nice. Okay. Influence. What does influence affect? Influence affect impact. Yes. When hundreds of artists adopt something you popularize, your original contribution spreads. So your influence does impact your impact. They impact each other. impact, influence, and influence, impact. Anybody have anything to say right here? On a free to unmute and say it before I continue. I'm drinking soda water. Nobody have nothing to say? All right, let's continue then. And soon we're going to answer Ricky's question about the hit versus hot. Because I did a live on that, Ricky. A whole live on hit versus hot. That's why I didn't want to get into it. You should check out some of the lives, because a lot of the things that you talk about, I actually do lives on them. So, your influence affects your reach. Yes. Artists influenced by you indirectly carry pieces of your creative DNA to other audiences. The influence impact your reach. Your influence impact your longevity. The new generations continually rediscover your music and who you are. Your influence affects your accolades. Eventually, institutional recognition may follow sustained artistic influence, hopefully, eventually. Now, let's talk about reach. Your reach does affect your commercial success. More exposure means more potential customers. That's why you pay for marketing. That's why the camps are so important, because they are basically unpaid marketing and they should be paid, right? It's just facts. And they do a lot of marketing, right? Your reach affects your commercial success. Now, if you have reach and your thing is foolishness, it's going to fall flat. You just spent a lot of marketing dollars to spread it everywhere and nobody liked it. So nobody's going to share it. So it's going to fall flat, right? But if you pay your marketing and you have substance, like say Sean Paul, and you have that reach because you pay the marketing, right? And you have substance, then guess what? It starts to multiply because other people start to share it. It's just a fact. So more exposure means more potential customers. That's why people pay for marketing. Reach affects your fan base growth. Clearly, a larger pool of listeners create more opportunities to convert some listeners into fans if you're good enough. Reach affects your live draw. Clearly, because you're recognized. If you're recognized, then people are like, they create more potential ticket buyers, right? Yeah. Even if somebody really don't know your music, and I'm saying, oh yeah, I hear this guy Kill Kenny was good. I hear him good. All right, you have a ticket. All right, I'll go. No problem. I hear about him, but I don't really know him like that. But I'll go. Yeah, your reach, people knowing your name or even knowing one song. Yeah, potential ticket buyers. Reach also affects your accolades, your visibility. If you're visible, that increases the likelihood of institutional attention. It's just a fact. People have them eyes and ears to the ground. Who is hot right now? Who we want on the show? Bad Bunny is hot. Booking for Super Bowl. For Super Bowl. Why? Bad Bunny have enormous reach across even way past film genre and in actual language. His reach into the English and the North American market, right, helps his impact and his accolades. Think about other genres. See if it holds true. It's true. Visibility increases the likelihood of institutional attention. Your reach also affects your impact clearly, sometimes, but not automatically. You can have a lot of reach and you don't have no impact. You just spread wide and then it just flop because you pay for it to spread wide and then it just flop. So reach does not guarantee impact. No. Reach is how wide, impact is how deep. Deep and wide. You remember that song? There's a fountain flowing deep and wide. Okay. Let's see. So, commercial success. Commercial success affects reach. before I go on, anybody want anything to say? Because we're going into commercial success right now. Wanna fall asleep?
So any man. You say cultural success, any man, impact everything else.
Cultural impact, yeah. Cultural
Cultural
impact,
impact.
touch everything.
Uh, it kind of varies still,
Which
guys.
one of them? Yeah.
You see, we have couple any artists where you would say them are like caricatures in our culture where the culture love dearly, but beyond that, them no move the needle.
But a culture loving artist dearly is what move the needle how and what needle? When you say
Like
needle, what?
like catalog, name, bookings,
Mm.
all different, all a lot of the other metrics.
So not because you're loved mean that you're necessarily deeply impactful, right? But the cultural impact, it cannot affect necessarily your catalog. Your catalog is your quality of your music. Your catalog affect your cultural impact.
But a quick question though,
Yeah,
the quality of the music is determined by the audience, right?
largely,
Right.
large.
All right, cool. Yeah, because you put out your music and yeah, the audience will like it. Some might not,
That's
but
right.
some people like it, right?
Yeah,
And even certain songs, and that's why there's subjectivity in the music, right?
yeah,
I might not like it, but the majority might, right?
that's right.
Right. So even the case of a Psy, a Gangnam Style, right?
Yeah.
Those songs, Macarena, Lambada, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Those songs had reach. Would you say that?
Yes.
Right. Even beyond their cultural spaces, right?
Yeah.
Those songs had that global reach.
Yeah.
Um, right. So it wasn't a case where marketing wise, people were promoting it. It's just that the songs were, very good and then blew up big time
Right.
and went global.
Right.
Um, would you say that because those songs had that reach within their time,
Yeah.
were they impactful globally?
Yes. Yes. And that is proof of why they had the reach. Because if it was not, listen, if it wasn't impactful, and if it wasn't influential, it wouldn't have gotten that reach because it didn't have the marketing dollars behind it. Because of the fact that it was impactful and because it was influential, people wanted to share it. And it had so much influence. People were playing it at weddings. People were playing it at everywhere except for funerals. Even quinceañeras, right? Spanish people something. 15-year-old coming of woman thing, right? So because of the fact that it have that organic reach, that is a testament to the influence on the people, and that's a testament to the impact that it actually had on the culture of that time. Else it wouldn't have had that reach because it wouldn't have been shared. Because it's not like as if they had a machine, like a label behind it. When you have the label behind it, the label helps the spread. The label is the marketing dollars. But not because you have the label behind it mean that it's going to survive. Because if it's BS and the market, the label put a certain amount of money towards it and it don't spread, or it show that it's not that impactful or influential, the label is going to stop spending money behind it. Nobody's going to throw good money after a bad machine. There must matter than that. The house always wins. Always. Right? So yeah, that is the point of it. Because of the fact that the reach in that case, like those one-hit wonders, the reach in those one-hit wonders is proof that that song was impactful for that time, and was proof that that song was influential for that time. Because if it didn't have that impact or influence, it wouldn't have been spreaded. Because it never have the machine behind it. So now when we talk about, sorry, Imhotep, is there anything else? Oh, I'm gone. Okay. So reach does not guarantee impact, right? That is one of the most important distinctions in this entire life. Okay? Reach, yes, it affects impact. Sometimes, not automatically, like I was just explaining to everybody a while ago. Right? You can pay for certain things. Now, commercial success, reach. Listen, commercial success does affect reach. Why? Revenue creates resources. Resources can fund promotion. Promotion expand visibility. In other words, you make your money, you reinvest your money. This is what this is saying. If I get a little bit of success now and I sell a certain amount of fertilizers, guess what? I'm putting that right back into the marketing towards getting some more reach. Why? Because I already proved my concept already. People already want to buy it. So let me see if the people over here want to buy it too. Oh, no, I can afford to reach the people over yonder. No, I can afford to reach the people over here. That's how it works. So commercial success affects your reach. If you ain't got no money to play, you're not going to reach nobody unless it's organic. You have to play. You pay to play. That's how it is. That's marketing. Pay to play. That's why the camps are so blasted important. And that's why the camps are so they should be valued more. Because they're basically free marketing. And PR too, in a lot of ways. The way they defend the artist. It's just a fact. Does impact guarantee reach? Not necessarily. It doesn't guarantee it, but it affects it. Doesn't guarantee it, but it affects it. Right? That's why there are certain things that are very culturally impactful, but you don't really see it. You don't really see it abroad, or there's not that many people abroad that know about it. Right? It's just a fact. Right? I can go to somewhere. Where can I go? Let's see. I can go to even another island, like say, well, even Curacao. I can go to Curacao, ask somebody, do you know Oliver Samuels? No. Who the hell is that? Does that mean that he wasn't impactful? No. He just loved the reach over there, probably. But he was very impactful to us and to the rest of the diaspora. So we have to use these principles against other things to see if it makes sense. Right? That's what I was doing with this. That's why it was so fun for me to put this together, because it was nights and nights and days of me like sitting down, thinking and crossing out and thinking and crossing out and saying this lead to that, but no, this don't lead to that. So it was a nice exercise for me. But I want you guys to have fun with it too, so we can actually figure out these things. Now, all right. So commercial success leads to accolades, right? Yes, commercial momentum often creates industry attention. Yeah, because if you're making money, it's in the industry not going to notice you. Think again, buddy. If you're making some money, they are noticing you. Okay? Yeah.
Our question, Miss Julia. Commercial success is how much percent on your chart, the 9 metrics?
Hold on 1 second. Let me tell you. Area 804, it says your device is not connected. It says your device is not connected, my dear. Sorry, let me see if I see him again. Hold on 1 second. Try again. Come off and come. Yeah, try again, my dear. Rodetta, up on the live. Good night, everyone. Good night, Rodetta. Try again, Ira. Let me see if I can. Let me see. Yeah, you have to try again, my dear. It's not allowing you. Oh, you asked me. Sorry, what did you ask me, Teddy?
Yeah, man, regard to the 9 metrics, the commercial commercial success.
Yes, yeah. I give it
Yeah,
15%.
how much
15%.
15%.
Yeah, 15.
Or
Right?
it can reach out 15%.
Yeah, I give it 15 and reach. Yeah. You know why?
Okay.
Because commercial success matter because it proves that people willing to actually purchase you and consume your music, right? And
Yeah.
actually financially support the artist's work, right? But it can rank above impact or influence because
Yeah.
commercial numbers, them actually very heavily affected by the era, the technology, the label backing, the market size. You understand what I'm saying? The measurement infrastructure, which we don't have, right? So if you think about it, a dancehall artist from the 1990s, like I was saying before in the slide, them never have Spotify and YouTube or TikTok, right? And also historically, we as a genre, we don't capture our domestic music consumption at all. Not with the same level of standardized data like what the UK use and then we have radio. That's about you understand? So, the commercial success, I feel like it deserves a strong 15 because yeah, the demand matter, but it can't be the final judge of greatness because the best-selling artist is not automatically the artist who changed the genre the most. You see what I'm saying? So it can be more than that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, I understand. As Mr. When you finish up, at least maybe we'll go back to me kind of little late. Because,
Yeah,
for
no
example,
problem.
me ask why maybe culture and influence could be the same, but maybe you explained already. So,
Yeah,
because I'm late, you
impact
know?
and impact and
Yeah,
influence. Why they couldn't be the same? Yeah, because the
yeah.
impact is what's left really most times after the influence. Think about it this way: the influence would be the fire. It
Current.
influenced my skin, right? It depends on how much influence, how much fire was exposed to, how much my skin was exposed to that fire is the mark that's left. If I was burnt for 15 seconds, it would have left a bigger impact on my skin than if I was burned for 5 seconds. So if the influence was not strong and hard enough, if the influence of that fire flame is not strong and hard enough, it will have a limited impact. You understand? But if I have that fire flame as the influence to influence my skin on my arm and leave it there for like a good half hour, I'll lose that would be very impactful. I might still have scars to this day. And you can see the impact of that fire flames. You see what I'm saying? So impact measures more of than what influence carry. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, I understand, man. I
Yeah,
understand. Yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, either way, we can discuss it after. 804, you can try again. All right. So where was I? Commercial success and accolades. Yes, the commercial success, of course. Momentum, them going to is going to create industry attention, of course, right? Successful records can increase performance demands. Commercial success affects your live draw, definitely does, right? Commercial success, it affects your fan base confidence, it does. Success can reinforce fans' emotional investment. That's why everybody wants to see how much the album sells, how much the streaming is. This is what fans want. You know that. Commercial success, of course, it affects the fan base confidence. That's why the other fans troll and them say, oh, you don't buy an artist work, you don't buy an artist. How come your artists only sell this? Because it will get at the fan base. Emotional investment. They know how to get to you. Your commercial success affects your influence, yeah, because young artists frequently imitate commercially successful formulas. That's what they look at. But again, success can create imitation without creating historical importance. It's facts. You can be successful in this one moment, and somebody can imitate what you did to be successful, but that don't mean that you created historical importance. It's just a fact. So fan base strength, no. Fan base affects the sales, definitely, because the committed fans are going to buy. The fan base, they're going to affect the touring. Why? Because the committed fans are going to follow you, they're going to show up. The fan base affect longevity. Yes, committed fans sustain artists between major records. It's true. The committed fans, you hear about them artists, even when them artists quiet. A lot of times people would talk about Vendetta Camp just for that too. Sometimes Alkaline very, very quiet. but then fan base is still loud, still giving him that longevity. It's just a fact. Your fan base can affect your awards as well, for fan voted awards, like even mobile, right? The mobilization, it matters. That's why the camps are important. I'm going to keep saying it until I get it in the head. I'm going to keep saying it. And the fact that we need our own charts, and the fact that we need to put more respect on our dancehall music and the people in it. Just a fact. Now, your fan base, of course, it affects your reach, right? Because your fans become unpaid marketers. Why? They post, they share, they debate, they defend, they introduce, they archive. That's what the fan base, that's what the camps do. Now we're going to go into longevity. Longevity affects impact. Of course it does. Why? Because impact can accumulate over time. So if you're in the game and relevant for a longer time, guess what? That can affect how impactful you are or are not. It's just a fact. Impact accumulates over time. The only way you have the time is if you have longevity. Longevity can affect influence. Why? New generations encounter older artists. If you're listen, when I was a little girl, of course I knew all of them old Mr. Hopkins and all of them people. That's way before my generation. Right? I encountered older artists through my parents, but the music was still influential. Your longevity can affect your catalog. Yes, it does. Right? More years can create opportunities to build deeper catalogs. If you're around longer, then you have more chance to even increase your catalog. Right now, Capleton's still around. Guess what? Him just come out with that album. The album good too. Queen Africa been around. Our album very, 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 very good. Excellent album. Longevity. She is alive to be able to create more good music. So your longevity can affect your catalog. More years. Your longevity then, clearly, can affect your accolades. Clearly. Why? Lifetime achievement recognition often follows sustained careers. So your longevity affects your accolades. You're in the game, you have more chance to win at the game. Just a fact. Your catalog now. Your catalog affects your longevity. Great songs keep your artist alive. Your catalog affects your touring. People buy tickets partly because they want to hear songs that they already love. Your catalog affects your fan base. Music creates emotional attachment. Your catalog affects your impact. Songs can become cultural landmarks. Yes, what one dance can do, all of that. Your catalog can affect your reach. Yes, timeless records can cross borders and generations. Let's talk about live draw. We're almost done. Live draw, it affects your commercial success clearly because your touring creates revenue, or it should. What you're touring for if you're not making money? Your live draw is supposed to, it will, affect your reach. Why? Concert expose artists to audiences. Who's coming to town? Oh, I've never heard him before. Oh, okay. We get tickets. Let's go. So, concerts expose artists to audiences. Live draw affects your fan base clearly because live experiences can deepen emotional loyalty. When you go to your artists, listen to the man them talk and listen to me talk too. When I went to my artist, every time I go to my artist show, yes, you get reminded of certain commands that you like, certain commands that them have over the audience. When you hear the massacre people, just know the ones who actually went to the show, when you hear them talk about the show, how inspired they are, how them feel elated and happy. You can't take that away from people, right? That's what live draw does. It deepens emotional loyalty because your fans get to see you and you're performing for them. So your live draw also affects your accolades, right? Successful touring can increase your industry visibility and your prestige. Yes. Because if you're touring and you're making so much money and the industry recognizing you and your name being called and you're getting to wear the designer and you're getting to wear the jewelry, guess what? That increases your industry visibility. Everybody wants you at the party and your prestige. And that leads to accolades. Why? A lot of the accolades come from networking.
Miss Wi-Fi, let me ask you something. Using this metric,
Why you always
it,
call me that, Ricky Pro?
sorry, Miss BlueFire. Using these metrics,
Yeah.
wouldn't you say that it will take away that lot of the artists that they say is a big artist is not?
Hmm? Say again?
In terms of using which artist big answer, using these metrics, wouldn't you say most of the artists that we argue is a big artist, some of them would fall not being a big artist?
Maybe not being as big an artist.
Okay.
Maybe not being as big. You see what I'm saying? And yeah, you see, well, this is why we need, and this is why we need something. So it's just facts over feelings. You see what I'm saying, Ricky? It's just a fact. We need facts over feelings. So we need to be able to have something standardized that we can say, all right, we can draw for and say, but him have this, 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 and this, but him lacking here. But she have this, 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 but she lacking there. But let's tally it up and see which one then. You see what I'm saying? Right? So there's a lot to figure out, but it's good that we're making a start. Accolades, fan base growth. Yes, people discover an artist because of an award. That happens a lot. Sometimes people just discover an artist just out of an award. Who won Mobo this year? What? Oh, okay. Wow, I never heard of him before. Let me go check. Recognition can increase stream sales and booking. That's true, because you're now hot. Recognition can affect reach. Yes, because major awards introduce artists to new audiences. So awards definitely amplify your greatness. Putting accolades at 2% doesn't mean that they're useless. Not saying that, right? But accolades affect touring. Grammy winning artists, that has market value. Or Grammy nominated artists, that is a whole lot of marketing value. So guess what? Your accolades will affect your touring and how much money you can charge. It's a fact. Your accolades affect your longevity too. Because why? The awards become part of the historical documentation. Just a fact. All right, who has the Guinness World Record for the longest tail in history or something? I don't know. That affects your longevity, right? Accolades affect your influence as well, because recognition encourages younger artists to study the winner. Bolt, his accolades, it affects his influence on all the runners after him. Accolades affect your impact, definitely, possibly. But this is like an amplification rather than a creation. It amplifies your impact, your accolades. And that's the difference, right? Also, impact can exist without accolades. It's a fact. Impact can exist without accolades. An award can magnify an existing cultural force, but it doesn't necessarily create that force. It's a fact. It's just facts. Think about it. And listen, anybody on the playback, I hope you're hearing me. If you don't have anything to say that you don't agree with, please write it in the comments so we can actually discuss it. Part 3, let's talk about why Jamaica's chart situation, we're almost done, we have 10 more slides. Why Jamaica's chart situation changes this discussion. This is crucial. Everybody like up the live, please, and share it. Right? This is crucial. When comparing dancehall artists, we have to recognize something uncomfortable. Our genre has a measurement problem. Jamaica has produced globally influential music without historically having the same comprehensive domestic chart and consumption infrastructure available in a lot of the larger music markets. That means historical dancehall greatness cannot be reconstructed purely from spreadsheets. That's what that means. Think about what historically drove Jamaican music: the sound systems, street dance, selector, radio, dubplate, mixtape, record shop, street circulation, informal distribution, right? Diaspora movement. Some of those systems generated enormous cultural power without generating equally comprehensive statistical records. Therefore, not measured does not mean not consumed. The same thing we were talking about me and Trooper. And not documented does not mean not dominant. That is another important thing. This is one reason I refuse to let commercial statistics completely overpower cultural evidence, right? When we're talking about dancehall history, we can't just let commercial statistics dominate everything. We cannot. Can't. Because we don't even have our own. Here's the measurement gap. Let's call it the dancehall measurement gap. That's what I'm calling it. That's the difference between what actually happened culturally and what existing institution successfully recorded. So what actually happened, the difference between what actually happened and what was actually recorded. That matters, especially when you're comparing across generations, right? Modern dancehall artists, them have big digital footprints. Them have YouTube views. Them have Spotify streams, social media followers. All the dancehall artists, them operated in ecosystems where huge portions of them consumption, that was analog, it was informal. It was simply never captured comprehensively. So we can't punish the past for failing to generate data using technology that never even exists in the past. It never exists. So we must punish those artists in the past. We can't. Also, platform numbers, you see, people, they are evidence. They are not verdicts. Platform numbers are evidence, not verdicts. Let me explain what I mean. Suppose artist A get dramatically more YouTube views than artist B in 1 year. All right, good. What can we conclude from that? What we can conclude is artist A generated more YouTube views during that measured period. That's it. We can't automatically conclude artist A is historically greater. Artist A has greater cultural impact. Artist A have greater influence. Artist A have stronger catalog. Artists A have greater loyal fan base or greater longevity. We can't conclude that from that. One platform measures one dimension of consumption, right? The mistake happens when you turn a metric into a verdict. One metric is not a verdict. It's evidence towards a verdict, but it's not the verdict itself. That's why you have to use all metrics. Okay? You can use cartel as a test case when it comes to impact, what it look like, right? Remember, we're not asking how many awards does cartel have. We're asking what changed in dancehall because cartel existed. I'm using him as a test case when it comes on to impact, right? The lyrical impact, the wordplay, and the lyrical construction, right? Him help reinforce the expectations for the punchlines, the double meaning, the vivid phrasing, the lyrical construction. That's very memorable, right? That is not simply like him can just write. It's that the lyrical performance became central to how he was evaluated as one of the best lyricists in dancehall, right? It's just a fact. So if we can go into the different type of songwritings that him do, but because time running off, I'm going to pass through all this because we know most of this already, right? There's volume and relevance with cartel as well, right? Comfort Zone said, if you have impact but no commercial success, does it mean the catalog is weak? No, but it depends on what you have impact for. If you have impact for your music, no, this is the thing. This is another thing, Comfort Zone. I'm glad that you brought that up, right? We have to separate the impact of the artist from the impact from the artist's song. There's two different things that people always conflate, right? Shaggy is very impactful as an artist because of what he has done for Jamaican children, what he has done for society. He's been a big philanthropist, right? Some of his songs were also impactful for different reasons, right? Some people say some dancehall artists, right, them impact the culture negatively, but it's still impactful. You see what I'm saying? It's still an impact. Once it change it from zero, either regardless if it go negative on the scale or positive on the scale, it's still an impact. Doesn't matter. Impact don't have to be positive. Impact mean change, right? So there's that too. So we have to be able to separate the impact of the artist from the impact of the artist's songs. Two big different things, right? So it depends, right? Depends. And then no cartel have the marketing impact, right? The artist identity as a brand, right? Also had the cultural impact and the influence on other artists.
Really? How do you separate though the impact of the artist as an individual separate from the
Impact of the
impact
song.
of the artist song?
Okay, let me give you a perfect example. I believe I can fly. That song, the impact
Mm.
of that song is still is one of the, it changed generations, two generations, remixes, it churches, everywhere was singing it. The impact of that artist on that same community completely different right now. The impact of that artist before was actually different too.
So
So
if I sing a song and the impact of my song
mhm,
impacted the whole church and
mhm,
everywhere, right?
mhm.
Isn't that classify the impact of me? Because what if I did not sing that song? It wouldn't be
Yeah,
everywhere.
but if you're, in other words, is but we already made that distinction already because it's we said the difference between your song and you. So if it is your song, is your song. You, it is already implied that you made it. Is your song. Just like I believe I Can Fly had a very good positive impact on the community and on the music industry, right? But we have to separate now the impact of that artist, of where he is right now and what he did to the community. So the song did a lot of good and very, very impactful to a high scale. See what I'm saying? But the artist right now, the impact that he had, just like what we can say, even with I don't even like to about it.
I think I get you, but don't go down the road. I
But
see road where
yeah,
you go down. I
you
see
see what I'm
road
saying?
exactly where you go down.
Yeah, exactly.
I
You see what I'm
understand where
saying?
you
So
get
you
at.
understand, good.
Yeah, man,
But
because
Michael,
therefore the
yeah,
song might be impactful, but
in
looking
a
at the
different way.
person itself
Right.
and whatever, yeah, I get where you say. I
You
see
get
road where you go down. Yeah,
real
man.
Teddy, real Teddy say Michael Jordan impactful on and off the field. That's true too. Michael Jordan, yeah. A lot of them impactful on and off, right? Especially when you have one of them personality there, right? Them will make impact on and off. You see what I'm saying? So,
Because man can say me rate the song there, but me not to rate the artist.
right, right,
Alright.
right, right.
Yeah,
Perfect
man.
example. Perfect example, right? All right, sometimes too, you can rate the artist and don't rate the song then. Like me rate Beanie Man, but
I miss that song, me get the road where you go down. You
yeah,
understand?
yeah, man, yeah,
Alright.
man. All right, so why these arguments never end? I do something rich? Yeah. Why these arguments never end? Because one person said my artist sold more. That is commercial success. Another person says my artist changed dancehall. That is impact. Another person said everybody worldwide knows my artist. Yes, that's measuring reach. Another one said my artists have the most awards. That's accolades. Another said listen to all these young artists. They all sound like my artists. That's influence. Another one said, my artist sell out the arena. That's live draw. They can all be potentially correct. But not all right. But not answering different questions. So a better way to debate, if you want to think about it, is instead of asking who is bigger, start asking who has the greater cultural impact, who has the greater influence, who has the greater reach, and then we add them up. Then apply the weights. We ask all of these questions: who have the stronger fan base, who demonstrated the greater longevity, who have the stronger catalog, who have the stronger accolades, who have the greater influence, who have the greater cultural impact. Let's add them up. Then we apply the weights. Now we have an actual argument. But you can't just throw the little metrics and then think that that is your argument. No, we have to add them up and we have to weigh them. Right? That's right. Raw data say one person can generate negative and positive impact. It's all human beings. Teddy, why don't unmute Teddy? Where would I put charting success? We talked about that. Teddy, did I sleep?
Yeah, so Miss Bluefire, wouldn't some of these things in terms of you would have talked about, but then with some artists didn't have like this social media reach and the Spotify and so
Yeah.
wouldn't even in conversation wise affected those artists who we see as great artists.
What do you mean conversation? Yeah, if conversation, you mean word of mouth?
Yeah, conversation
Yeah,
wise.
yeah, man. Yeah, man. Of course. Yeah, man. Definitely. Definitely. Because remember, so we always had a medium of communication, you know, even if it was different. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Word of mouth used to spread. And that is your influence. That is raw influence and impact. You see? And that is raw organic reach. Word of mouth. See? So, yeah, what you said, Teddy?
Yeah, man. As we said, because we kind of forward late and everything. So you said
Yeah.
the charting success would be under which category? You said.
So when you say charting success, do you
For
mean
example, a person with Billboard
platform
Commercial.
commercially under.
That would be commercial because it's a
commercial
success. It's a
success?
chart developed by a third party, as we should have explained, as
Right.
accolade.
No, man, and accolade you under, man. You know.
No. Commercial
What?
success I gave no. Commercial success I gave 15%. And the reason why I gave it 15%, right? Because yes, it is serious, right? We have to know whether the attention actually converted into sales, streams, touring revenue, remember? Merchandise, remember, so that also is publishing income, right? Also, what else? Certifications, right? And sustain consumer demand. So commercial success get 15% because it matter, because it proved that people were willing to consume and purchase your music.
No, I think you might ask where they put billboards and so.
Yeah, Billboard
Where you
chartings. Yeah.
put billboard card chart,
Billboard,
which one of the
billboard is
category?
commercial. You mean accolades?
I tell them
No,
say you
man,
say
that
it would have been
no, man.
accolade same way, because it would
That's
have
what
fallen
I'm
under
saying.
third party who created it.
No, man. No, man. That kind of be a little different now.
Oh,
For example, remember Billboard charting are you based on where you achieve out of your sales
Okay,
or where you do
you mean
in
like
terms of your streaming numbers.
catalog strength type of thing. That's what you mean.
Yeah, man, like for example, a person Billboard at 100 or your album got Billboard 200. You only put that on the accolades.
No, I put that
Yeah,
under
that
catalog strength. Not true.
so reach it and put it on commercial success. Cause I couldn't fan base.
Mm-mm. No, I don't. No, you know what? That's a good question, too, you know.
Yeah, because truth be told, everybody on the YouTube stream, first thing, them ask about what the charting, because the charting, truth be told, I think that is very important. Now. So let's say the accolades important, but the charting is basically what you achieve at your time. So when you get your default on this Billboard chart, at least, say anything happen, let's say you have some new generation come on, and then basically disregard your accolades and those stuff.
No,
Them
but it's
cannot take away, yeah.
in it. No, listen, it's in commercial success too.
Oh,
Because
commercial success.
yes,
Oh,
it's commercial success. It's in commercial success. That's what I was saying. Like it is inside of it. Because if you think about it, right?
yeah.
If your commercial success again, right? Everything that converts into your sales,
Certification. Yeah.
streams, certification, touring revenue, right? Sustain customer demand. Those things affect the charts. Those things affect Billboard. You see what I'm saying? Right? It actually prove your commercial success, prove people willing to consume and purchase your work. That affects the charts, the consumption of your work. You see what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, makes
so
sense. Makes
right.
sense.
So it makes sense. So all of that is included in there as well. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, the demand for your work actually matters. That's why I grade it so high as 15%. But it can't be the final judge of greatness, right? Not because you're the best-selling artist, that don't mean that you're the artist who actually is doing the most for the genre. You see what I'm saying? When it come on to what's supposed to be weighted heaviest. Big up raw data for the jewels. Big up raw data for the jewels. Right? You see
All
what
right,
I'm
so Miss
saying?
Julia.
Yeah. Tell me
Yeah.
what you say. Tell me what
All
you say.
right, so let's say a person now, because you know sometimes we kind of we love kind of narrow down things small.
Yeah.
So let's say maybe a person say, all right, the metrics, 9 metrics too much, and they want to take it down to 6. Why you don't join up together? Is it possible?
Come again. Say again.
All
Which
right, so let's say a person is saying maybe the 9 metrics is too much to remember. So could it go down to 6 or 5? Is that possible?
no, we shouldn't, because
Yeah.
we counted everything that actually deserved to be weighted. It should,
Okay.
and you know what happened to? We ought to do it. Like,
Yeah.
we deserve it. And it's not too much. You see what I'm saying? We actually do deserve it. You see what I'm saying? We actually do deserve it. So it's not too much, because everything that we counted, a matter of
Yeah.
fact, to the point where we grade certain things lower because of the fact that we don't want to double count. Because of the fact that some things affect some other things, but we still have to count them because they're different. Even though something might affect something else, that don't mean that it's not. That don't mean that it's the same. So it still deserves to
Oh.
be weighted. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, understand. For example, live draw person, maybe so that could go under fan base. I'll bring it to 13%.
No,
No,
because
oh,
live draw is your ability. You can't combine the two, because a lot of people in your fan base might not go to your show, might not be able to go to your shows because of location, etc. But your fan base does affect your live draw, because if you have more fans, the more fans you have, right, the more you can actually get people to buy tickets to come to your show, especially if you have fans in the diaspora, right? So your fan base affect how much tickets you can sell, clearly. You see what I'm saying? Right.
yeah,
But they're two different things, because them still have to be measured differently. Because there's a lot of people who you might be able to draw a crowd from people who are not necessarily in your fan base. They might be neutral, but them still want to hear you. Or them still want, you know what I'm saying? Them still want to come out and have a day. You see what I'm saying? So that these people might not be, they might be casual listeners. They might not be like in the camp, but they're casual listeners, but they must still buy a ticket because it's still worth it. You see what I'm saying? So we can't just put all the live draw towards the fan base, because the artists will starve, really and truly. You see what I'm saying?
yeah, I understand. I would say thanks, in terms of this where you put up. 'Cause I don't know most of we are Google away. We see some buzzword like dominance and
Yeah.
lyrical chorus and cultural and those stuff. So at least we can see these stuff and use it in a debate,
Yeah.
whether we rate of artists or not.
Yeah, I even think about it in itself and make little changes or think about it. But at least we start the ball rolling to, let's actually break this down and think about it, and just stop accepting things that we hear without actually thinking it through. Because this
Yeah.
actually it took me about a week and a half, and it was every night. Instead of like reading my book like what I normally would do, I'm there with the pad and I'm actually drawing arrows and thinking things through, and then looking through it and trying to see if it makes sense and stuff. So it was a lot of error before, but now I actually am satisfied with this, because I wrestled, like, even with the accolades giving it only 2%, I really did wrestle with that. But then I say, you know what, Julia, you have to, because not only is it dependent on third party, but a lot of these other things that you already counted is going to lead to the accolades, because it's the reward for these other impactful measurements that we're using. You see what I'm saying? Because nobody gets an award for nothing. You get an award for your, that's why there's impact award. You see what I'm saying? That's why there's this award, that award. You see what I'm saying? Mobile, right? So we're almost finished. So let me continue. So this is crucial for intellectual honesty. An artist does not need to win every category. Your favorite artist does not have to dominate every category. Sean Paul could defeat another artist in international reach. Cartel could defeat the artist in cultural impact. Someone else could have stronger accolades. Someone else could have live drawing power in a particular market. That's perfectly possible. The objective isn't make my favorite artist win. The objective is build a model strong enough that I would still accept it if my favorite artist lost. We need to be able to depend on the models that we build in our infrastructure, in any business that we do. Whatever we're using as a testing ground, we need to be able to depend on it. So even when we don't like the answers, we can accept defeat. That's the whole thing, even with politics. Do you accept that you did not win as the political candidate, as the candidate, as the United States president, whatever? Did you accept that you did not win? Them always ask that question. Do you have faith in the framework that is used to judge? That's what we need. So that even if we don't like the answer, we can still trust the answer. If not, we'll always be spinning our wheels and everybody guessing and everybody spinning things and using the right numbers to answer the wrong questions, because that happens all the time. The number might be factual, you know, but what question are you trying to answer with that number? That's the question. That's what a lot of people, like, I hear them and it's like, I'm like, but yeah, but that number not answering your question, right? And then when people get belligerent, I'm just like, you know what? All right, just stay in your ignorance then, because I'm not going to fight you to actually explain why you shouldn't be saying what you're saying. So we need to build a model strong enough that we would still accept even if our favorite artist lost. That's what makes the framework credible. Now, here's another debate tool I want you guys to consider: the causation test. For every metric, ask, did this metric create greatness or merely record greatness? Impact usually creates. Influence usually creates. Reach distributes. Commercial success monetizes. Fan bases, they sustain. Catalog, they preserve. Longevity, it confirms. Live draw, it demonstrates. And accolades recognize. That's why they don't deserve identical weights. This is the whole life in a nutshell. Look at what they're measuring. Look at what they do. Look at where they come from. Accolades recognize something from up here, so. That's what you got the reward for. Live draw demonstrate. Why? It demonstrates your pulling power. How many people are willing to come and see you? That's what it's demonstrating. Longevity confirms, yes, she's still relevant after 3 generations. Your catalog preserves you. Even after you're dead, your catalog is still alive. That's why people catalog skyrocket after they die. People should look into that. Your fan base, it sustains you. Even in the quiet times, ask Vendetta, they know. Commercial success monetizes you because money. Your reach distributes. Your influence, that creates. Your impact, that creates. Another new debate tool, the replacement test. I want you guys to ask these questions. Could another artist have easily filled this artist's role? That's a good question. If the answer is yes, their historical uniqueness may be smaller. If removing them leaves a contribution that nobody else naturally replaces, their historical significance becomes stronger. Buju Banton's historical significance is very strong. Bounty Killer's historical significance is very strong. Beanie Man's historical, Lady Saw's historical significance is super strong. Tiger, no longer got no longer belly. Vibes Cartel, that helps separate successful artists from historically consequential artists. There's 2 different things. People, stop conflating these things, please. I keep hearing people conflating these things. There's a difference between a successful artist and a historically consequential artist. Sizzla is historically consequential. May not be as successful as some other artists, but it may be much more historically consequential than a whole heap of them. These are facts. Another one, the copycat test. Here's another tool you can use. How many people built something from that artist blueprint? Don't simply look for direct imitation. Look for vocal approaches, different subject matter, visual branding, right? Some kind of release strategy, like releasing them album, right? Fan community structure, them slang. Everybody say, why? I think Popcorn come from that. Did that. I think some other artists saying that too, right? Business strategy. So when an artist's blueprint survives through other artists, that's influence. Jay-Z has that too. We're almost done. We only have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 slides left. The environment test. Ask this question. Did the artist succeed inside the existing environment, or did they change the environment? There's a big difference. Did he just succeed in the environment, or did he change the environment? This is huge. A successful artist learns the rules and wins. A transformative artist changes some of the rules everyone else has to learn. It's just a fact. Both deserve respect, though. Both deserve respect, but they aren't the same accomplishment. It's just a fact, right? Then do the time survival test. Fire Nation, wake up. Everybody wake up. Wake up. Time survival test. Take away the hype, take away the social media, take away the controversy, take away the placement, the playlist placement, take away the current collaboration. Now ask, what is left? If the answer is the catalog, the influence, the fan base, the cultural reference, and the recognition, then you're looking at durable greatness. You're looking at a great artist. Again, use this test, the time survival test. Take away the artist's current hype. Take away the artist's social media. Why keep doing this? Right? Take away the artist's current controversy. Take away all of that. Right?
BlueFire, you have to be careful, look, I have some artists out there were impactful when they really too social media friendly, they just post when them see necessary.
Exactly.
Why some use social media to keep them alive.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. So that's what I say. If you take it all away, Ricky, right? Take away them hype, take away them social media, take away the controversy, take away the playlist placement, take away the current collaboration, and ask, what's left? If the answer remains, them have them catalog still, them have them influence still, them still have them fan base, them still have them cultural references, them still have them recognition, and them still have continued consumption, people still listen to their music, then you're looking at durable greatness. That means it's not the hype that's sustaining them. So, here's a 48-hour test you can use. Imagine every artist, Spotify count, YouTube views, awards, them social media, right? Say everything disappear for 48 hours. The only thing that you can judge them through is the music, the culture, the people they influence, and the audience that they build. Would you still know who the giants are? Think about it. Ask yourself again. Let me ask you again. Imagine every artist, them Spotify count disappear, them YouTube views disappear, them awards disappear, social followers disappear, chart positioning disappear for 48 hours. Nobody knows anything anymore. The only thing that you can judge them through is the music, the culture, the people that they influence, and the audience that they build. Would you still know who the giants are? If yes, then that tells you something profound. Because guess what? The numbers must always help you to understand the greatness, but they should not be the only reason that we recognize it. Don't depend on the numbers, right? It helps you to understand the greatness, but it shouldn't be the only reason we recognize the greatness. We're supposed to be able to recognize talent and greatness by the talent and the impact, right? So here's the final formula, just to recap. Cultural impact, 25. What changed because you existed? Influence, 20. Who changed because you existed? Reach, 15. How far did your music travel? Commercial success, 15. How successful did attention convert into cash? Fan base strength, 10. How many people became committed rather than merely exposed? Longevity, 5. Did relevance survive time? Catalog strength, 5. What body of work survives the moment? Live drawing power, 3. Can digital and cultural attention become physical ticket demand? Accolades, 2. How strongly did institutions recognize your achievements? This is some questions for you guys to think about. Which metric do you think should carry the most weight and why? Listen, I'm saying, I tell you my metrics, I give you my reasoning. Create your own so we can actually discuss these things. These things are important. But these are the questions you need to ask yourself because, okay, let me put it this way. These are some of the questions I asked myself when I was creating my chart. So I'm helping you to create your own. I'm helping you to reason out your own. So don't take mine as gospel, okay? Now, which metric do you think should carry the most weight and why? Is 25% too high for cultural impact? Why? Is 2% too low for accolades? Why? Should commercial success outrank influence? Why? Can an artist have greater impact but weaker commercial numbers? Yes. Does selling out one arena prove drawing power, or do we need repeated evidence across markets? That's an interesting question. Should Jamaica's lack of comprehensive historical chart infrastructure, in other words, the fact that we don't count we own a thing and we depend on other people's chart, should that make us give more weight to cultural evidence? I believe so. That's one of the reasons why I did it. Which artist has the greatest influence but doesn't receive enough accolades? That's a good question. Which artist has accolades that exaggerate how culturally important they actually are or were? This is a good question. Let me ask you again. Which artist has accolades that exaggerate how culturally important they actually are or how culturally important they actually were? That one can start fights. Which artist has the strongest actual fan base and not followers, just fans? Good question. And here is a dangerous one. If we applied this scorecard without knowing the artist's name, would your favorite artist, Mr. Area 804, still win? That's a question. That's a question for you. I'm not answering it for you. I'm just saying, if we apply this scorecard without knowing the artist's name, we just pull it out of our hat, would your favorite artist still win? Him say yes. I don't expect any less. This is Miss BlueFire, always taking you higher. Ricky Pro, what do you have to say, my dear, if you want us to discuss
No, man,
anything?
you can't finish without you tell me about it song
Oh,
versus.
and I'm just let tell you say but do a whole
No, man, just
live.
give me a simple breakdown. You don't have to go in depth. You must can tell me, say, Ricky, this is a hit song. That is a real base off of that.
All right. Let me see if I can say it. Let's see. All right. There's a whole lot of difference. The things that I'm seeing, that I'm hearing with all right. See if I can say it this way. Um, Hold on. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see if I can say it. All right. A song being hot, Ricky, don't mean that it automatically is a hit. Right? Hot mean attention. Hot mean you get heat, you get buzz. Hot mean that you're in the conversation right now. Everybody talking about it, everybody reposting it, everybody arguing over it. But the thing is, as I always say, attention is temporary by nature. Attention is always temporary. Right? Right? A hot song, it can spread fast. Right? And then guess what? Some things are hot because of controversy. Right? As some songs might be hot because right now it's in a clash or it's in a beef. Right? So it's different. To me, like, okay, a hot song is something that will like dominate just the timeline alone. Like not just alone, but it dominate the timeline. It's not necessarily like a hit,
So,
right?
so,
There's a
so
difference between,
basically, I say break it down faster. Come and think me I get to here go.
yeah,
A 70 talk basically was around that song at the moment. Not really 70, but saying whatever surrounds that song at the moment that would make it a hot song. But if you not see it certain places, it is not a hit song.
right, exactly. So in other words, like this, then, right? A hit song is no longer in the conversation. It's no longer hot, right? So a hit song can be hot at first, and then it stays. So it stays as in the conversation. So it's a hit, right? A hit song is not just about the conversation. It's about behavior. If it's a hit song, people are going to replay the song. It's a replay value. People are requesting the song. People rewinding the song. People singing the song. People driving to the song. People partying to the song. Long after the hotness die off. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Right. That's what I'm
gotcha.
saying. You see
I
what I'm
got
saying?
you. I
Like,
got you.
and then not only that, but if you think about it, guess what? A hit is actually measurable because a hit you measure a hit by the streams, the charts, the radio, the clubs, crowd reaction, DJ pull up, replay value, as I said before. So the hit will actually leave evidence, right? But a hot song, you can't really measure it. You just know say it's hot because everybody talk about it right now. It just they're on the street right now, but you can't measure it. We can't measure red light, pepper light, yellow light, go. We can't
I
measure
me
it.
just that was saying about me one you said.
Yeah, we can't measure it. It's hot, but we can't measure it. You understand? But a hit is measurable. You see me? So that's what I
All
wanted
right.
to say. But you actually pull it out of me the right way. So I appreciate you for that. Because I was thinking that it was going to take me a long time, but no, you actually helped me concise it. So I appreciate that conversation.
No problem.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So thanks for being here, Ricky. I appreciate you being a trooper and you staying longer and you know what I mean, talking to me about these things. But these are things that we should be discussing. But when you have time, check out my other lives because you'll find that a lot of the things that we question or we discuss, I actually break them down. And you're free to disagree, free to leave it in the comment so we can actually have a discussion on it because I like to pick things
Me
apart.
I go email them and you send me that and me dissect it. Come like dissect things after,
Yeah,
As me say, I
yeah,
like learning, So
yeah,
me always email me it and I go through it. I can discuss it some work colleagues as well, because I
yeah.
have selectors as work colleagues and them thing there.
Come on.
We play on radio and them look thing there,
I'll
you
just
understand?
share the yeah. I'll share the link. I'll share the link. You share the live. That's
All
the
right.
the best
Yeah,
way.
man, no problem.
Comfort zone says, but doesn't it drive to a hit song? It can. It can. Not necessarily.
That can be
Ex-
hit, but doesn't necessarily means it is going to.
Exactly. Exactly. There is no guarantee. There's no guarantee that a hat will turn into a hit, right? But more than likely, every hit was hot at one time. See? It's kind of like every poodle is a dog, but not every dog is a poodle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, bless up everybody. I've been here for a while and my butt is hurting me. I've been sitting for a while. Bless up everybody. Happy Friday. Remember to like and share and subscribe. Ricky Pro, you are welcome here anytime. As a Massacre fan, please check out my Massacre review. Rap
No
Massacre
problem.
share review and let me know what you think. I'm gonna look forward to hear what you think.
All
Blessing
right, no
everybody
problem.
on
Respect
Friday.
again.
Yeah, man. Blessings. I'm blessing everybody on Fire Nation. This is Miss BlueFire, always taking you higher. I'm out.
Fire Nation, listen to me. You don't log off and go back to playing small. You take what you learned and you execute. This is why Fire Nation exists. To rise higher, to build smarter, and to change the financial future of our families. I'm Miss Julia, A.K.A. Miss BlueFire, always taking you higher. And wherever you go next, you carry our fire with you. Fire Nation, we rise, we build, and we're just getting started.